Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your watch-along for Manchester United versus FC Omonia. There may have been a few confusions about who would play in this game tonight, who would pass late fitness tests. Of course, the most important person who's passed the fitness test, if you watched the morning show this morning, is me. I didn't think I was going to make it. Coughing fit the lot this morning, but we've had a day of recuperation. I'd like to thank Amazon Prime, Chicken Soup, Lemsip, and just old-fashioned rest for getting me ready for the show tonight. We're good to go. Kev was ready to join in. There was plans in place, but he's here. He don't let his audience down, or some would say maybe I have. But we're ready to go. I'm looking forward to it. Mike Mate says, glad to have you with us, Mark. Mike Mate, more like my mate. Thanks very much for that. I hope you're all ready and ready to go. I'm on the mend. Yeah, I'm very rarely kept down for longer than 24 hours. So yeah, feeling a lot better. Not quite better yet, but I am feeling a lot better. Somebody just said that's the wrong lineup. It's not. It's the right lineup. It is, in fact, De Gea, Lindelof, Martinez, Malacia, Dalot, Bruno, Fred, and Casemiro, and then Anthony, Rashford, and Ronaldo. So it's a very strong Manchester United lineup. So I don't know. I think what's gone wrong is I think for some reason they've put what colour will FC Omonia play in? Because we've got two red kits going around here, and I don't like it. What colour will FC Omonia playing in? Let me know, and I'll get that changed. Oh, piss off! Don't start with technical issues now. Do not start. Not in the mood. Not in the mood with that. What kit do we think they're playing like a green? Okay, they're going to play in a green kit. That's quite easy for me to change, to be fair. I'll be able to sort that. So yeah, United have gone quite strong. And I don't necessarily see a problem with it. There is the United team. In fact, what we'll do is we'll pause it on United for the moment, because that's the only team that we're really interested in, isn't it? So that's the United team at the moment, and they have gone quite strong. With regards to the bench, just so you know, we've got Dubravka and Heaton on the bench, so two goalkeepers again. Varane is on the bench, Luke Shaw, Eriksen, McTominay, Iqbal, Alanga, Garnacho, Palestri and Sancho. Now, remember, you can make 5 subs. So Varane trained on his own yesterday, but is on the bench today. Luke Shaw, you would imagine, is a first teamer. So he's on the bench as well. Eriksen's on the bench, another first teamer. Obviously, McTominay is suspended, so will probably come on in the second half. Iqbal, Alanga, Garnacho, Palestri, who knows? And I would expect to see Sancho at some point as well. So I certainly think that we will see Casemiro going off after an hour. I think we'll see Bruno going off after an hour. I think Ronaldo will go off after an hour. And potentially a Rashford as well. So, but he's gone very strong, and I don't think that goal difference actually makes a hell of a lot of difference in the context of this. I think that we really probably don't. It probably doesn't matter too much, but at the end of the day, so what? You know, you've got to go out and beat what's in front of you, haven't you? And I think Manchester United are certainly well equipped to do that with the team that he's picked tonight. I don't anticipate any danger from Celtic. I don't anticipate any danger from FC Omonia, if I'm absolutely honest. I think we should have smashed them at their place, and we didn't. And I think that we have an opportunity to do that tonight, especially when you see things like Liverpool smashing Rangers at Rangers. I think there is a real sense that Manchester United probably should. There we go. We changed it to green. I've just realised actually. I'm still not quite there yet, but no, I do think that we should be looking to go and smash them today, because ultimately they're not that good, and I don't think goal difference comes into it unless somebody can tell me anything different to that. I don't think goal difference comes into this with regards to the game that hopefully we will have to beat Real Sociedad in a short period of time. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, bring it on. Bring it on is what I would say. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think it's actually easier. I'm just going to get rid of the complete lineup for them and just keep it like that. I think that will save everybody time, and allow me to come back to the live chat. So let me get rid of that. Let me come back to the live chat. There we go. And we're back in the live chat. And we've had a super chat just at the right time. Actually, it's a member chat. Mark, aren't you sick? Rest. It's up. It's a long season. It's not worth you getting worse. I'm feeling a lot better, Mo. Thanks for your concern. Actually, looking forward to this team. Looks good. Ronaldo to score anything less than 4-0 is not great. Mark, get some vitamin C and D down yet. And zinc, says David. I think, as you can hear, I'm definitely feeling and sounding a lot better. So thanks, everyone, for all your concern. I know you'll be with me for the next few hours. I've not really done that much today. I did the morning show, had a major rest. Then I did a bit of FIFA as a fitness test. And, it went well for an hour. So I think I'll be fine. Absolutely fine. As long as you lot keep my brain occupied with great questions and everything like that, I think we'll be absolutely fine. Thank you very much to the members, by the way. If you are a member, you do get to put up free sort of super chats as well. I've never mentioned that before. I think you get... Well, I'm sure somebody in the members can let me know, but I think as a member, you get to put up, a highlighted super chat for free each month as well. So if you want to become a member, click the join button, just like Aditya has there. Thank you very much, Aditya. Also, we've had a super chat from Spotted XYZ. If you want to do super chats, it's the normal way through the $sign. Please do subscribe to the channel. That is free, bottom right-hand corner. Spotted XYZ says, "Hi Mark, have you heard about the rumours of Mbappe to United? Is he the type of player to suit Erik ten Hag's style of play? Also, hope you're well, mate." I haven't heard of any rumours of Mbappe coming to Manchester United. We did do a poll on it, I believe, last night, and the general consensus was that I think over 60% said no, they wouldn't want him. I wouldn't want him. The reason I wouldn't want him is because the money it would cost. You could buy 4 or 5 players, which we actually need. I don't think we need Mbappe, and I just wouldn't go near Mbappe, to be honest with you. But we haven't got the money for Mbappe. I heard Laurie Whitwell was saying that Man United are unlikely to buy because they just don't have the budget in January. So interested to know how it's going to go without Eriksen, says Waxy. Well, I think that's probably one of the key areas, actually, when you look at that midfield next to me. Casemiro and Fred are used to playing with each other for Brazil, so that could have an impact. But as we saw against Sociedad, Fred was tremendously bad at creating chances in that home game against Sociedad. But this is FC Omonia FC. So it should be more straightforward. Hi Mark, I've been watching since 2017. This channel is great. The United Stand is a fantastic community. Congratulations on 1.5 million subscribers, says Adiola. And I'm glad you're feeling better, Mark. Hopefully a steamroller for United tonight, 4-0, says Glazes out, says just me. I wouldn't like to. I mean, Carl's just gone with 5-0. Do you think he will give some of the youth a chance? I hope so. I hope so. I think a lot of people are quite impatient about why we don't get to see Garnacho and Palestri and Zidane Iqbal and players like that. But if I'm completely honest, you don't get to use youth players unless it's a more comfortable environment, and a more comfortable environment is 3 or 4-0 up with an hour with an hour played. So I think that needs to happen for that to happen. Saka strikes again. Who needs Mbappe? Says Zayn Miasi. Hopefully Lindelof has a good game. Thought he played well on Sunday. So Surav, he'll have an easy game. Andrin, welcome to the Members Club, and Jeff as well. And Lee Galdart says, I don't care what women say, man flu is a real thing. Really hope we see Garnacho tonight. Need these games to give you some minutes, says Lee. Slow Sports News, Mark Goldbridge passes medical and expected to take part in the watch-along, says Bilal. I like it. Welcome to the Members Club, Santosh. Off topic, what will you do on Twitch? Because this will be the last ever FIFA. So what will you do? Well, no, it won't, Nathan. There'll be another game. It'll just be called something else. But I don't know. Maybe that's it for me after this FIFA. I'm certainly getting to the point. I mean, I don't want to talk about that. We're talking about Man United, but I am getting to the point where I don't think I'll carry on doing FIFA for much longer anyway. I always felt that this might be my last one, so we'll see. Will Sancho eventually flourish under Ten Hag, says Asher. Now, that's the sort of question I want to get my teeth into. And welcome to the Members Club, Frederick Lundgren. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I mean, I think in relation to Jadon Sancho, it's a really interesting point. That a lot of people have spent a lot of time talking about this recently, and obviously I've had Ben Foster on the show, and he's obviously been quite vocal about the fact that Sancho's not been doing particularly well. Obviously, I thought he might have started today, but I think what Erik ten Hag has done today with this team is he's gone very strong again, and it's interesting because it sort of fits in with what I was talking about with on the morning show this morning about the Europa League and the Premier League, and how do you go for both? I don't think you can. I think the competition for top four this year is going to be ridiculously hard, and it's going to go all the way through to the end of the season. And then you want to try and win the Europa League as well, which is going to be ridiculously hard and will go all the way to the end of May as well. I don't believe we've got the squad to do it. I mean, Delot is playing again today. Delot is starting another game that he will start again on Sunday, and he will start again on Wednesday. I mean, Delot is going to play 4 90-minute games in 9 days. He'll play tonight, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. You can't do that for 3 or 4 months. You just can't. So, whilst it's interesting that Ten Hag is picking his strongest team at the moment, at some point he's going to have to rotate or it'll fall apart. Do you think Reina would be a good signing for Manchester United, Mark? Says Josh. I mean, I'm not really thinking about particular player signings at the moment. I think not till January. Is there apart from maybe a striker, is there an Eriksen issue? The only one who got rotated. Also, Europa League watch-along thumbnails look amazing, says Nandit. Thank you very much. Hi, Mark. If you think United have a good vein of form, do you think Ronaldo will stay in January? Says Skull Crushers. I think United have to allow Ronaldo to go in January as well. That's the big point. Whether he wants to go or not doesn't mean he does go. Do you think Rashford will become the player we all want him to be, says United George? I think it's a good question. I want to come back to that. Sancho as well. Big up you, Mark. We need a backup right back for Delot, says Man United Hodge. And hi, Mark. As how current standings look, Barca and Juve might be in the Europa League. Tough for United to win it. Watch the show this morning, Jonathan, literally talking about that quite in depth. Mark, please put OS sliders on your career mode, says Mr. Bowen. Thank you very much for the super chat there. So, I think that with regards to the Eriksen rotation, he was actually asked specifically about that in the press conference yesterday. And Eriksen is a player that does need to be rotated. He simply cannot play every single game. But he's not the only one who needs to be rotated. So I don't think we can moan about Eriksen being the only one that's been rotated when actually Luke Shaw isn't starting either. And I think that's quite telling because Luke Shaw's on the bench and no one's mentioned it, but Luke Shaw is the first choice left back at the moment. But you can rotate. Thursday night football, rotate. Luke Shaw's number 1, Malacia's number 2. He likes them both. Malacia comes back in. That's what rotation is. Right back, Delot's playing again. He's got no right back. Eriksen out of the team because he wants to give Fred a game, and he can do that. Bruno's not out of the team. Why is Bruno not out of the team? Doesn't have a number 10. Donny van der Beek's not fit. Ronaldo's not out of the team because Martial's not fit. Rashford's in the team. He could have played Sancho. That's interesting. Anthony could have played Elanga, but I think I said this on Sunday. I think that Marcus Rashford and Anthony put such a shift in against Everton that they would be desperate to play in this game today. So I think with Rashford and Anthony, he's basically given them a reward for their work on Sunday. So it makes sense to me. But for Jadon Sancho, didn't start against Everton, didn't start tonight, so he is definitely lower down in the pecking order. To which the question is, Reflex JB, welcome to the Members Club. To which the question is, does Sancho have a future at Manchester United? And to which the answer is yes, of course he does. I mean, is he overhyped? Yeah, probably. We're all guilty of that. We do overhype our English players. But I think in relation to Jadon Sancho, he's quite an interesting one because he's never really been an England first teamer. Southgate's never really appreciated him. He's always lived off the hype of being a Champions League, Bundesliga player for Dortmund, and he's been a very good player there. He's nowhere near has he transferred that form to Manchester United yet. Hi Mark, it's my birthday. Can I get a shout out? As Coach said, of course you can. Happy birthday. Mark, got you on the TV while the wife is out. Thanks for your company and all the hard work you do at the United Stand. Thank you, Alexander. And Mark, did you see the tweet where Frankie is mad that he's not starting? Not surprised because Xavi has his favourites. He should have joined us. I've got no sympathy, Christian. Doesn't sound like you have either. You know, we put it on a plate to come to Man United and he chose not to. You reap what you sow. Hi Mark, I think it's going to be interesting to see Casemiro and Fred together. If that works, it gives us another option. Yes, Jonathan, that's one of the positives. So we'll come back to that. And Mbappe thinks he's bigger than the club, like he demands more than Messi would do. Me personally, I don't want him anywhere near Liverpool. I hate him, says Nathan Allen. Okay. And Maguire and Casemiro midfield, Sancho to cover Bruno, says Keel. Okay. So yeah, on Jadon Sancho, absolutely. Alanga's being wasted on the bench, says Martial. I'll come back to that as well. I've got an interesting point on that. And welcome to the Members Club, Samuel Harper. So in relation to Jadon Sancho, absolutely not. He has not fulfilled his potential at Manchester United. He's been here for a year, and it's been very poor, really, by the standards we expected. So I would acknowledge the critics on that. I'm doing all right, mate. Sleep tight. Thank you very much for the super chat, and Pete B as well. So I think that, Sancho's been very disappointing so far. However, there is a player there. But he's got to, I'm not going to protect Sancho the same way that maybe, Sancho has to be treated the same as Maguire, the same as Luke Shaw, the same as Scott McTominay, the same as everybody else. Of course, I find Sancho more appealing than a Harry Maguire or a Scott McTominay because he's an entertaining player. I prefer wingers to centre backs, but he's got to do what they've got to do. He's got to find a way back into this team, and he's got to work hard, and that won't be easy. But I certainly think that ultimately every player has to be put into that scenario whereby you're either good enough or you're not good enough. And with regards to Jadon Sancho, then he's had the chances. He's been picked quite regularly for a year. He's now out of the team. He might get back into the team because of injury. He might get back into the team because of poor form. But he's 22 years of age. He costs 74 million quid. Let's go for it. Eugene says, thoughts on YouTube new UI for channel. I don't like it since it divides videos short, live each in a different section instead of one. I don't know what that is, Eugene. UI. So, thoughts on the new UI? I don't know what that is. Jess says, I really hope Donny has a future at the club. Yeah, well, we could talk about Donny van der Beek, but he's not even part of the team at the moment, is he? So it is what it is. But with Sancho, he's just got to work his way back into the team, and he's got to be user interface. So what's this all about? I'll have a look. Yeah, but with regards to Sancho, he's just got to work his way back into the team and be consistent. That's what it's all about. Time will be the big thing on that. Right, I'm just having a look at the new user layout here while I'm chatting away. Are you happy with the lineup, says Mikael? I am happy with the lineup. I mean, it's probably about as good as it could be, because what I want to see is some of the younger lads coming on in the second half. My user layout's the same. What I'd like to see is a really entertaining first half where we score 4 or 5 goals, and then in the second half you take off those players. You take off 4 or 5 players with an eye on Sunday, and then you get on some of the younger lads who can, add to the scenario of excitement as well. With it being obvious we won't buy a right back in January, I think we need to consider recalling Laird, who's doing well at QPR, says Joshua Bowater. Interesting thoughts there. And Mark, are you happy with the lineup? We've done that from Mikael Roach as well. Yeah, I'm pretty much happy with the lineup. But I read something yesterday in the Manchester Evening News, and I don't know whether anyone else saw it. And basically they were saying that Elanga just can't get a look in under Ten Hag and basically needs to go on loan. I mean, I've said that all along. I think there's a player in Elanga. Of course there is a player in Elanga, but I don't know. I don't think there's a very good player in Elanga at the moment, because I don't think he's the finished article. I've always been very defensive of Elanga. I'm talking about Elanga now, Martial AFC. Love you, Mark. Fair play for doing the show, even though you're ill. Well, Dan, I'm sure you lot will help me get through it. I might have to slow my voice down at times just to, catch my breath and stuff, but we'll be fine. I think we'll cruise tonight 5-0 for me. Keep up the good work, Mark, says Football Maniac TV. But with Elanga, I'm always very sympathetic of him, and I don't like it when I see the criticism of Elanga, because Elanga is currently, what is he, 20? I'll just get his age for you. Yeah, he's 20. He's only just 20. He was 20 in April, so he's not 21 until the end of the season. Too much of a risk playing Ronaldo as an only striker, says Majek. Don't really have a lot of other options, do we? So in relation to Elanga, I feel that, and Natty says he's rubbish. I think with Elanga that he was thrown into that team because Rangnick had nobody else. I think he's been over-promoted. If you go to work tomorrow and you work in an office environment and suddenly your boss is someone who worked with you yesterday and they're not really a boss, you're going to go, you've been over-promoted. And I think with Elanga, he's been over-promoted. You look at what happened with Garner last season going on loan to Forest, or you look at Laird on loan at QPR. I don't think Elanga's any better than those two players, but they've had the development to go out on loan in the Championship and develop. Like Mabry's getting at Birmingham now. I'll talk to you about Mabry in a minute because I was speaking to Troy Deeney on Monday, who's at Blues, and I've kept this back for a bit, so get ready for this. So I think with Elanga, I'm very sympathetic with him because I do believe there is something there, but we're never going to find it with him sat on the bench at Manchester United, you know, cameoing here and there. He needs to play more regular football. So I think Elanga is a victim of the Glazers in the sense that we don't have enough forwards, so he has to stay here as an option when realistically he's not ready to be an option, but they won't give Ten Hag or Rangnick the money to bring players in. Hi Mark, everyone says I look like Harry Maguire. Should I create a Twitch account? I think you've got to do it, Adam. 6 of the first 11 speak the same language, Mark. Do you think that plays a critical part in the team's overall success, as Varane? No, not really. I mean, communication is key, is a saying, but I think there's plenty of examples where that's not the case. I hope Lindelof plays well because people automatically assume Harry is third choice, as Umri. You know what? I've got to be honest. I don't think it matters how well Lindelof plays. I don't think he would keep Maguire out as third choice. I might be wrong on that, but I think Maguire would be the player that plays if Varane or Martinez gets injured. Mark, are we going to buy Gakpo in January? Says Uza. I mean, never say never, but Man United seem to want to say never. And what specific player would you sign in January? Says the World of Bluey. Feel better, mate. I personally think that Gakpo would be the player I would go for in January, if I'm honest with you. Yeah. Talk about Mabry, says Joshua Bowater. Cheers for the watch along, Mark. You are the man. Much love from California, says Zach. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Thanks everyone for tuning in as ever. We're getting ready for this game, which I'm looking forward to tonight. There's not a lot of pressure on it. I mean, I'd love Sheriff to get something in Spain against Sociedad, but even then, we're going to have to beat Sociedad. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it tonight. And I'm looking forward to a confidence boost tonight for Manchester United. Glad you're better. Fred hat-trick coming, says Jerry. You know what? A Fred hat-trick in a game like this might not be a bad shout. In fact, if you are somebody who likes a little personal bet, or even if it's a real bet, how's about this? Fred first goal scorer then? Because it could happen. It could happen. Maybe not a hat-trick, but it could happen. So, the J is not quiet. It is not silent in Meshbury, says Muzzy. There you go. That's for you. Thank you, mate. Who is a member as well. So, let's get ready to rumble on this one. I do a show on a Monday with Ben Foster called The Football Fill-In on his football channel. And he does a video with us, as you know. So, effectively, the guest on The Football Fill-In on Monday, you might have seen it, was Troy Deeney, formerly of Watford, now of Birmingham City. So, get well soon, Mark. Can I have a shout-out, says Lushai. Of course you can. Shout-out for you. So, when we were finished filming, we were just having a chat with Troy Deeney about some things and some things that can't be repeated because obviously you speak more openly sometimes when the cameras aren't rolling. Mitrovic would be worth a punt, says Mark. And we were talking about Hannibal Meshbury, who is on loan at Blues at the moment. And I was asking him how he's getting on at Birmingham City. And he basically said he's got a lot to learn, which is exactly right for his age. But what he did say that he liked about him is that he's got character. He doesn't mind going on and putting a tackle in, which in the Championship is absolutely essential. So effectively, Troy said that, and remember, Meshbury is 29. He's not 29. Imagine, he's 29. He's 19, Meshbury. And I think he's going to the World Cup as well. I'm pretty sure Tunisia are in the World Cup, aren't they? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Tunisia are in the World Cup and he'll be going part of the squad. So, feeling better, Mark, says Will. Score predictions for tonight. I'm not feeling better, but I think I'll be all right. Score prediction, I think I went with 5-0. I would buy Gakpo and bring Laird back as Delo backup. He has been absolutely brilliant in his loan spell. They're already calling him their best player, says Mario. And good to see United Stand and Fabrizio clocking 1.5 million subs at the same time. Good work, guys. Even if Fabrizio Romano did it quicker, says Salt Season. Mate, I'd have 1.5 million subscribers if I did what Fabrizio does. And I'm not taking anything away from Fabrizio. He works massively hard, but at the end of the day, transfers sell, don't they? And he does a bloody good job, so well done to him. Thoughts on Frimpong, right back in the Bundesliga, Dutch quick and has a decent cross, says FIFA Crazy. Hi Mark, congratulations on 1.5 million subscribers, says Sad. Thank you very much, and please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner. So yeah, Mabry, Troy's playing with him at Birmingham. He said that, look, definitely very, very talented, but the good thing is there's a lot of work to be done there, but he's got the attitude to do it. He's got a bit of bite, he's got a bit of character. This is why these sort of loan deals are fantastic, because Birmingham City are not the best team in the Championship. Every game's going to be a challenge, and if he can get himself in that first team, it's the Jude Bellingham thing. I mean, Jude Bellingham's career is so impressive because at 16 years of age, he was playing centre midfield for Birmingham City, played 33 games. So the Championship is relentless, it's physical, so I think this is a great, great, great opportunity for Hannibal, and hopefully he can grab it. There you go. I'm at lunch, Mark, says Beach. Thanks for all the updates on everything per usual. Thank you very much. World Cup will change who is bought in January, says Mark Holder. And it's a good game to get Zidane Iqbal in, says Just. Well, if you look at that United side there on my left, we will make 5 subs. We can make 5 subs. Do you think United will jump at the chance to sign Haaland's cousin? Says, what is all this Haaland cousin thing? I'm seeing all these pictures about Haaland's cousin, Logan, and I don't really get it. In Gale, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Liverpool versus City or Barca versus Madrid, same day. I'm doing Liverpool versus City skeletons. I'm doing Man United versus Newcastle at 2. I'll do match reaction, and then I'm going to go straight onto That's Football to do Liverpool Man City. So that's my Sunday sorted. And I'm hoping Iqbal gets some game time, says Zaid. So I think when you look at the team on my left, and we can make 5 subs, my predictions, and I might be wrong about this, my predictions are Varane will get on to get a bit of game time ahead of Sunday. So I think Varane will come on. So that's 1. McTominay will come on for Casemiro. That's 2. Bruno will come off. So that's 3. Ronaldo will come off. That's 4. I think one of the wingers will come off. That's 5. So Varane will come on, McTominay will come on, and then I think there'll be 3 others which are hard. I mean, he might bring Eriksen on. I wouldn't bother, to be honest. I'd bring Garnacho on. If Ronaldo comes off, who goes on up front? I've got no idea. But yeah, I think we'll take Ronaldo off at some point. One of the wingers off, Bruno off, Casemiro off, and one of the centre backs off. I don't think he will change one of the fullbacks, but he might do. He might do. The return of McFred, I can't wait, says Moaz. Well, remember, he can't play at the weekend, so that won't happen very often. You've got to stick with Casemiro now. GM says you're going to lose, Mark. United will lose, says her. You've got to stick with Fred. You've got to stick with Casemiro now. Casemiro has got to play every single game for Manchester United when he's fit, because I think we saw on Sunday that he is absolutely essential to Manchester United. You know what? I would actually have a bit of a criticism to Ten Hag about his hand. There's no points. There's no point in having a moan about it. But I would say that what Sunday showed is, why did we take so long to get Casemiro in the team? He made mistakes in that game. Definitely, Casemiro made mistakes in that game. I think we all saw that. But overall, he made such a difference to the possession and the way that we played that it makes me think, why did we not bring him into the team any sooner? Because he's still rusty. But look, he's in the team now. He's got to stay in the team. Hi, Mark. Can you call my mate Zeus a prat? Says Caleb. There you go. Lucy misses Sancho Ball. I don't think it'll be long before Sancho Ball is back. United stand reaching 1.5 million subs. Mark involved in videos discussing football with famous footballers. Silence them haters. Get well soon, Mark, says Dowell. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, lots of exciting things to come, actually, on the United stand. I mean, I don't feel particularly excited about anything at the moment, apart from this immediate next few hours, because I don't feel particularly 100% at the moment, but there's lots and lots to look forward to. Can you do Sue? I'm not doing anything exaggerated at the moment because I've got another 2.5 hours to get through these streams, so I don't want to I mean, the worst thing I could do at the moment is a Sean Dyche impression. That would be game over. If I did a Sean Dyche, I wouldn't stop coughing and that would be the end of it. So, ORJ makes a good point. Why are we talking like this is a walk in the park? Because I think it should be. I think it should have been last week. And you make a good point that I want to just hammer home, which is what United need to do tonight, funnily enough, hammer them at home. But if you think back to the game last week, we won 3-2 and we played really badly. So we've got to really pound them at Old Trafford. We've got to move the ball well, we've got to create chances, and we've got to score lots of goals. And if I was Eric Ten Hag, I mean, ultimately, Ross says it won't be easy, but if I was Eric Ten Hag, I would be saying to these players, look, we've got a big game here on Sunday. This is a warm-up game, but you've got to respect it. This is one of the best games of their career to play at Old Trafford. We've got to give them some respect, but ultimately what I want this game over at half time, so in the second half we can rotate things about a bit and prepare for Sunday. So that's what you want to do. I hope Anthony gets a hat-trick, says Bobs. I'd fancy Anthony to score tonight, but it's about entertainment tonight. These sort of games aren't the sort of games we want to be playing. Of course, we want to be playing on a Wednesday or a Tuesday night. Yeah, that's what we want to do. But we're not. We're playing on a Thursday night, and confidence and goals breed confidence and goals. Will Martial be back for Newcastle, says Saj. I don't think he will. I'd be very, very surprised. Give us Attenborough Eastbridge, please, says Delicate Official. I don't think I can. I can't. I'm not even going to. Any impression messes around with my vocal cords, so I'm not going to do it. When had loaning players actually worked for us? And in speaking recent times, you say Garner, but we sold him, says YUFC. But I think the Garner loan did work. I do. I think the Garner loan did work. I think United are a bunch of prats for selling him. I'm disgusted by the Garner thing, but what more can you say? But I think the Garner thing did work. And the fact that Everton wanted to buy him and Southampton wanted to buy him shows that we had a player there. Not every Man United youth player will end up being a first-team player. I mean, Marcus Rashford's on my screen at the moment. How good is Marcus Rashford? Somebody said earlier on, do you think we're going to get the player that Marcus Rashford is now? I don't think we've ever had a young player who's been given as much of an opportunity to be successful. And I like Rashford. He is a player that gets me off my seat, but is he really that good? Or has he just been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity? Well, I actually think Rashford is a good player. I think he has got ability, but consistency is the key for Marcus. He's got to find consistency. Would be good to see Dubravka in his passing out, says Lee. Welcome to the Members Club, Josh and Caleb as well. I've got no problem with David De Gea playing today. The more games he plays, the more he gets used to the system. He is the goalkeeper. I've got no problem with that. But Marcus Rashford is 25 on Halloween. So in a couple of weeks' time, Marcus Rashford is 25. Rashford has got to be consistent. Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah. These players, all right, there's different levels I'm talking about there, but what do they have in common? Consistency, consistency, consistency. And this is a disease that runs through Manchester United's team completely. Are they consistent enough? Are they consistent enough? And the answer is no. They need to be. We slapped up a Scottish farmers team and we played really bad the first half, so you need to teach these farmers a lesson, says Nathan Allen. Somebody just said there then, so what makes Marcus Rashford a top-class player? His final ball needs to improve. But you can make a career off getting one-on-ones, and But I think that technically he's a very good player when he takes a shot. But there's a lot more aspects to his game that Eric Ten Hag will be looking to bring out from him. But consistency is the key for me. If Marcus Rashford is consistently playing and scoring for Manchester United, then mission accomplished. That's what we all want to see. Of course, one of the other considerations with Marcus Rashford as well is, can he stay fit? I don't want to be the prophet of doom here, but I'm not actually convinced that Marcus Rashford is streets apart from Martial. I think both those players played a lot of football when they were younger, when they were injured. And one thing that's absolutely guaranteed, and I can't remember if it was Michael Owen or Wayne Rooney said it, or maybe it was both of them, and they said that the football they played in their younger years, because both those players were playing for England as teenagers, and somebody around Owen or Rooney, I remember them saying that basically their careers were over by the age they were 28. I know they both played past that, but they were never as, look at Ronaldo at 30. He was still winning Ballon d'Ors. Rooney and Michael Owen at 30 were shadows of the players they were when they were 21. And that's because they were overplayed and they probably carried knocks and they played. And I remember somebody saying it. I wish I knew who it was, but I suppose it's just dropped into my head. And they were basically saying that you've got to look after players. And we're not great at it in this country. You've got to look after younger players, because if you overuse them when they're younger, they'll be burnt out. Their bodies will burn out by the time they're in their late 20s. Well, it's a scary thought that Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial are both in their mid-20s now. And if we've overplayed them a lot as young players and they're going to burn out by the time they're 28, 29, they might only have 3 or 4 years left. And that's if they stay fit. So I think I just hope with Rashford and Martial that these injury problems that they have become a thing of the past, because it doesn't matter how good they are, you've got to stay fit. And Rashford's already had an injury this year. I know people focus on Martial, but Rashford's already had an injury. Hi Mark, I'm watching Roma. The football is like Tottenham's football, says Ket. Well, it is Mourinho, isn't it? And just notice we've got 11 players speaking Portuguese. That must definitely help, says Rakesh. And Van Persie is whom said the thing about Rashford burning out, says Jason. Well, I remember Van Persie saying about Rashford's back injury, because he had the same, and he said it's a horrible injury to come back from because it's just it doesn't feel like it's a football injury. But look, we'll see. We'll see. I think we'd be very unlucky if we end up with Rashford and Martial, who are both talented players but can't stay fit because they're injury prone. Can you say Sykes' music is rubbish, says Amstridge. Thank you very much. Frankie de Jong will join Manchester United for free in January. I don't know how that would work, but that's from Chalk. I tell you what, though, if Martial and Marcus Rashford do end up being injury prone, it'll be nothing to do with Erik ten Hag. Absolutely nothing to do with Ten Hag. He's inherited that. He's inherited that situation. Why do you look so down today, says Urab. I'm not down. I'm probably looking. Probably look run down because I've been quite ill. As I said yesterday, I've probably got bloody COVID if I'm being honest. But I don't have tests around the house anymore, so yeah, we are where we are. But I'm on the mend. Ronaldo is actually older than Rooney, says International. Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? Do you think we're going to get a striker in January or any player at all, says Eddie? I do believe that there's a chance that we could buy a striker in January. It's not guaranteed, but I do think that we probably could buy a player in January. But the club are certainly making noises that they're not going to buy players in January. So, hey Mark, I love you, says Inam. Thank you very much, everyone who's getting involved in the chat. By the way, we are getting close to the start of this game. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are looking forward to it as well. I feel that we will win quite comfortably tonight. Let me just get rid of that. Martial is a superb footballer. He doesn't fully realise how good he is, says Pete. He's got to stay fit, Pete. He's got to stay, Pete. He's got to stay fit. That's what he's got to do. He's got to stay fit. If Martial can stay fit, we're laughing. Oh dear, that's the first cough. THC says terrible lineup. Sancho should be replacing Bruno. Right, I'm just looking for some quotes. There will be some quotes from the manager, I'm sure. Let me just see if I can find them. Yes, here we go. So Erik ten Hag says, I'm happy to be back at Old Trafford. It's been too long. We have to build something here. Togetherness between the fans and the players. We want a really good spirit in the stadium. We have to build that for the coming games as well. I like that. I think that's really important from the manager. Obviously he's managed Ajax. He knows about atmospheres, big clubs, and I think he's absolutely spot on there. And I think what he means by that is he wants United to go out and perform tonight. He wants United to go and win tonight comfortably. And I think that the way to do that is to go and win 5 or 6-0 and get a bit of a buzz and a bit of momentum and a bit of confidence ahead of the game on Sunday against Newcastle. It's a while since we played at Old Trafford as well. I think the last time we played at Old Trafford was it Arsenal? Was Arsenal the last time we played at home? I think it was. So it's a long, long time. We've got 3 games in a row now. And then he also says it's an important game because it's all about the number 1 in the group. It gives advantage. First of all, we have to win this game. We want to qualify as quickly as possible. There we go. But we also want to be number 1 in this group. That's from Erik ten Hag. And he said that Fred is doing well in training. When he's coming in, he's always bringing the quality. What we definitely need today is the counter press, and he's really good at that. He's fantastic. I think he's a good choice for today. So that's interesting from the manager, isn't it? Giving a bit of focus to Fred. I feel that the Casemiro and Fred thing is what I wanted to talk about for a few minutes anyway, so it's good that Ten Hag spoke about it. Look, Fred was probably one of the players that did really well under Rangnick. I didn't think he had a particularly good start to the season under Solskjaer, but he did do well under Rangnick. I'd describe Fred as the sort of player that if you're a manager, you're going to like him because he's got a smile on his face and he works hard. There's no hidden agenda. He's got a first touch like a sponge. He's a player that is quite limited in some aspects, but he's also a terrier of a player as well. He's got that low centre of gravity. He can bite. He can get at people. All right, when he gets the ball, he's not particularly good, but he's not useless. I mean, he can provide an assist. He can score a goal. He's just not consistent with his... I mean, I suppose Fred is the quintessential Manchester United player. His ability is inconsistent. Sometimes he can do things that are fantastic, but on the other hand, he can do some things that are just unforgivable with the football. And I don't mean he takes his pants off and craps on it, but sometimes he may as well do. But I think his character, his personality, his endeavour and his work rate are why many managers end up liking him. And you can certainly agree with that. And I think that in the absence of anybody else, then, you would want him to play. Would you say Donny is similar to Kagawa in that he has similar talents but lacks physicality for this league? I'm sorry, everybody. I thought I'd got away with it, but maybe not. Shit. I thought I got away with it, but hopefully it'll stop in a minute. What do you think of Diego Costa's performance yesterday? He should be our priority goalkeeper target, says Daniel Kirk. I do want to talk about that. I want to get rid of this cough for a minute. I've got a tickly throat now. It'll go in a minute. I just apologise for the coughing because I know it can be quite distracting when you want me to talk. Neil Lennon's doing a bit of a Instagram post in the ground. I mean, this is fanboy stuff for FC Omonia, let's be honest. I've played at Old Trafford and I really enjoyed it. They're playing at Old Trafford in front of 67. I don't know how many fans will be there today, but they're playing in front of a lot of fans. So it is a big day out for them. But in relation to Fred, I think he's a really likeable player. And I can understand why Erik ten Hag would give him a shout out, because you know what you're going to get with Fred. You're going to get endeavour and you're going to get hard work. Of course, that's going to happen. But I know what's happening. It's when you've got a cough, when you've got a cold, it's called nasal drip, isn't it? And it just rolls down to the back of your throat and tickles your throat. But look, one thing I would say about Fred, I hope he has a good game tonight. I think it allows Eriksen to have a rest. I'd rather play Fred than McTominay in that more box-to-box role. So I think that's important. Get yourself some Fisherman's Friends, Mark, says Tumbleweed. And not saying we should have bought them, but considering Tony and Gakpo are doing great at the moment, does that mean that Ten Hag's scouting is promising, says Majda. But remember, Fred is 30 in March. And his contract is up in 18 months. the weaknesses of Fred are never going to change. I think that Fred is a very useful squad player, bench player, but I think this has to be the last 18 months. Because if it isn't, then, that becomes a problem, doesn't it? Carl Walsh has just gifted 20 United Stand memberships. Thank you very much, Carl. Appreciate that. Apparently Speed's in the chat. I didn't see him. If he is, he needs to hold that L. I beat him at FIFA last week. Apparently he's been practicing a lot, but, I am the manager. I am the master. Mike Mate says, Malacia given a chance to make up for the last time. However, Sancho left out in the cold. Make anything of that, Mark? I personally don't. I don't know whether anybody else does. I personally don't make a lot out of it. I know where you're going at it. Malacia comes in, Shaw comes out. Why doesn't Sancho come in and Rashford come out? But I also think that Luke Shaw is recovering from an injury and probably is more vulnerable than a Rashford or an Anthony is. And as I said it after the Everton game. Rashford and Anthony put a lot of work in against Everton, and they probably like to play tonight. And maybe it's about keeping them fresh. I don't know, but Sancho. I'm sure Sancho will get on at some point, but you've got. I don't feel sorry for Sancho if that's the point. You've got to work hard to get back into the team, and Luke Shaw is a prime example of that. That you can work hard to get back into this team. Lindelof as well. Lindelof was the forgotten man. Everyone's talking about Maguire, obviously. No one's talking about Lindelof. And Lindelof played probably as many games as Maguire did last year. So you've just got to wait for your chance and get back into the team. Get well soon, mate, says T to LPC. Yeah, thank you. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. You're very welcome on the channel. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And thanks everyone who's joined as a member. And massive shout out to Carl Walsh for gifting 20 United Stand memberships. Appreciate that. And if you got one, make sure you say thank you. I do want to talk about this Costa fella. Plays in goal for Benfica, doesn't he? People were just waxing lyrical about him last night in the Champions League and his distribution and what a good goalkeeper he is. And look, I'm not going to deny it. I've not looked at that game or those highlights, but I'm aware of who the goalkeeper is, but I'm aware of probably 5 or 6 of the goalkeepers like that. We did a video about this on the international break. My feeling about the goalkeeping situation is that De Gea was fantastic against Everton. A completely different David De Gea to last year. Distribution, coming for crosses, running out his box, a different David De Gea. And if he played like that every week, I don't think we'd want a new goalkeeper, really. But even if he did play like that every week, we should still be looking for a new goalkeeper because we need a goalkeeper. And whether it's Costa, whether it's Lafont, whether it's Maignan, whether it's Robert Sanchez, whether it's David Raya at Brentford, we do need a goalkeeper like that because we need a goalkeeper that does it automatically. De Gea is being evolved into doing it, but it's not naturally what De Gea wants to do. And that's fine. I don't criticise David De Gea for not being a modern goalkeeper because David De Gea was a young goalkeeper in 2010 and football was very different then. And he's been one of the best goalkeepers of the last decade. But goalkeeping has moved on in that time. So I think we do need to acquire a goalkeeper that naturally does the things that Ten Hag wants and a modern goalkeeper wants. My preference is that we bring a goalkeeper in the summer to work alongside De Gea for a year or two, where De Gea basically is still the number one, but this goalkeeper's there to challenge him and take it. I think De Gea would be quite comfortable with that as well. That's what I want to see. But it's got to be the right goalkeeper. It can't be bloody Dean Henderson. It's got to be a Costa or a Sanchez or a Lafont, someone like that. That's my opinion on it anyway. But yeah, look, I can't pretend that I've seen that Costa play much. I've seen some clips and stuff like that, but I'm not desperate for the goalkeeper. I've got to be honest. I feel that David De Gea, in difficult circumstances on Sunday against a team that was at home and it was chucking it down with rain, I think he played well, and I think that's the importance of playing De Gea tonight, because the more times he plays in this system, the more used he gets to it. And in a game like this, he probably shouldn't concede, but there'll probably be a lot of opportunities for him to play as a sweeper keeper, because I imagine that Omonia will be hitting the ball long quite a lot. So he's got to be coming out of his line. So I think it's really important to keep playing De Gea. I think the way that Ten Hag has used De Gea this season has been spot on. He's playing him all the time. Now, would Rangnick do that? Would Solskjaer do that? No, I think they rotated the goalkeeper a lot. But a goalkeeper doesn't actually need rotating. They don't. A goalkeeper could play 60 games, no problem. Thursday, Sunday, because they don't really do a lot of running around. So I think the way that Ten Hag is using De Gea and basically just relentlessly picking him, because he knows that De Gea with 10 games under Ten Hag is not going to be as good as De Gea with 20 games under Ten Hag. So he's just trying to get the games under his belt to get him more used to the way that he wants him to play. But look, I agree. We do need to bring a goalkeeper in. But it's not the priority for me. We need a right back. We need a striker. We need another midfielder, and we need another centre back. I've just realised that almost everyone on the team can speak Portuguese, says Perseus. That's got to be some sort of advantage. Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about that. Lama says, De Gea is visibly improving. Hopefully he'll get another contract extension and do well for us. Whether he gets a contract extension or not, I actually believe that the only way United won't give him a contract extension is for money. I don't think... If David De Gea was on 150 grand a week, we'd all give him a new contract, wouldn't we? Let's be honest. So... We've only got 5 minutes to the start of this game. It's flown by, so I just want to give everybody a big shout out. I am struggling a little bit today. We've had one coughing fit, which is better than this morning, but I am struggling a little bit, so bear with me. I know a lot of you said you should have had the night off and rest up, and maybe you were right, but I've jumped into it now, and you're stuck with me now. So bear with me, and hopefully we're going to get a bit of an entertaining next couple of hours. So thanks everyone for watching. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Actually, I'm pretty sure that subscriber number is wrong, so I'm just going to double-check it for you. But a lot of games going on tonight in the Europa League. Apparently, there's something called the Conference League. West Ham are playing Anderlecht. I really could not tell you what that's all about. I don't even know... I'll be honest, when United were in the Champions League, I wouldn't even know what had gone on. Actually, we're not on 505,000. I thought we were. You can help us hit it. We are basically on 504,833 subscribers. So please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And let's see if we can hit 505,000. We're only 150 away from 505,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let me just move that. Okay, so the players are in the tunnel. Let's get ready to go. Manchester United. Right, let's move that there. Save that. Publish. Take. Unpublished. There we go. So we've got 504,000 subscribers in the top right-hand corner, and we're 100 away. There we go. Right, let's get the carousel moving on the right-hand side as well. So you've got the United team line up next to me, and that's the stats carousel that will go around as well. I've got a horrible feeling it's going to be a bit of a pain tonight, but let me have a look. Take... See if I can change this. It might work, it might not. We'll have a go. I'm just trying to see if I can change the colours on the stats carousel. Yes! Goldbridge is a legend. Goldbridge is a legend. La, la. Sit down, graphic designer. I don't need you. I can do it without you. Green and red. I fluked that. I don't know how I did it. I've got hidden talents. There we go. Goatbridge in the chat. Draughty gets all the credit, but sometimes I fluke it. It's the wrong green, mate. Couldn't give a shit. Couldn't give a shit. I fluked that green colour anyway. We're sticking with that green colour. So, the stats carousel is there. I will be stunned if we... I mean, at times last week, we had... what did we have last week at times? 80% possession at Old Trafford. I'm looking at... I'm looking at 80% possession tonight. Against Everton last week, we had 70% possession at times. So tonight, we're looking at 80% possession. I mean, look, it would have been a nice game for Jadon Sancho to play in, really, because we're going to play so high up the pitch. But, you've got to get on with it. Harbour, welcome to Members Club. And Daniel Derbyshire says, what's your score? What score are you going for, Mark? And I hope you're feeling better soon. Take it easy and take care, says Daniel. I'm hoping I'm on the rise. Expecting Fred to put his hands and apologise after a shot into Rosette. McTominay yellow card when he comes on. And Sue to come out. Watchalong. Bingo, says Belal. Let's wait and see if you're right. I do need a bit of a stretch. 80% possession is crazy, says Sonic. I think we'll get it. I do. I think we'll get it. They're playing with a back five. They're playing a 5-3-2. Big props to you, Mark. You built this channel from the ground up. It takes a lot of work and dedication to get that many followers. You should be proud of what you've achieved. Thank you, Shan. Appreciate that. Don't always get those sort of messages, so I do appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Hopefully we won't have too many coughing fits, but we've ridden through one, so at least I know they are surmountable. They don't have the first choice keeper tonight. How many goals are Ronaldo going to score? I have always liked Fred's energy, but is it possible to develop into a better first touch and not give the ball away so much? Not at 29, Stephen. Not at 29. I've got my pyjamas on. Scooby-Doo! But it's Scooby-Don't, because he's not been picked. Scooby-Don't. We're about to start here. Shit, let me get my timer. There we go. I'm glad it's ready to start. Let's go. Remember, you can do your player ratings in the second half as well. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Come on, and ref, are we ready? Got his yellow socks on. This happened last week. Why can't we have a referee that wears the same kit? Really, really gets on my nerves. I don't know whether it gets on yours. It gets on my nerves. I hate to see a referee in different coloured shorts. Right, let's relax. I'm going to have a sleep now. You can just watch the game and chat to yourselves. Oh, I wish I could. There's nothing better than putting Lord of the Rings on and falling asleep. That's my Radox. That's my sleeping pills. The new Lord of the Rings just sends me to sleep within 5 minutes. Yeah, we're already up in their half here. Early goal would be nice, but you know what? Early goal against someone like Newcastle at the weekend, they're going to have to open up a bit. I don't think early goal tonight makes a massive amount of difference. They're just not going to want to get... Fred's just gone for a shot. So well done to the person who said that. Fred's just... And he's gone like that. I find Fred mildly irritating. I've got to be honest. I think his smiles and everything when he does something shit, if I was on the pitch, I'd tell him off. If I was Ronaldo, I'd go, don't fucking smile at me with your shit shot. It's not going to let it... It's not going to get... I'm not letting you off because you've got a nice smile. But anyway, United with a corner here. Bruno, gone short into Rashford. He'll hit that. Good save by the keeper. Not a bad idea because nobody closed Rashford down. It wasn't a particularly good shot, but it was on target. Yes, I'd have saved that. I'd have saved that, yeah. Andrew said it was a very good shot. It was straight at the keeper. My sleeping pill is American Gangster, the movie, says Elvin. Is that the one with Russell Crowe and Denzel Washington? I think I started watching that and I stopped watching it, actually. Can we ban Fred from shooting, says Rin. I mean, it would save a lot of problems. Imagine if you said to Fred, I like everything about your game apart from shooting, and if I see you shooting, you'll never play again. 80% possession already. It's coming down now. They've got the ball. I'll tell you what, though. I am looking forward to tonight's game because it's almost the calm before the storm, isn't it? What a week we've got coming up. Newcastle on Sunday afternoon, Spurs on Wednesday night, and then Chelsea on next Saturday. It's going to be ridiculous. Ridiculous. 9 points up for grabs. 3 difficult games. That's going to be a week that defines us. It's like 3 dates with the girl of your dreams or the boy of your dreams. If by the 3rd date you haven't made first base, it's over, isn't it? And by first base, you know what I mean. 3 dates is enough. Come on. I mean, maybe you're not that sort of person, but you know, it's a great opportunity for United. 3 courses. It's going to be one of those shows tonight. Eric Ten Hag always looks angry, says Tumbleweed. No, I mean, I think Newcastle at home, Spurs away, Chelsea away. Sorry, Newcastle at home, Spurs at home, Chelsea away. I said it this morning, 7 points minimum for me. Draw 1, win 2. That's what you got to do. Draw 2, win 1, 5 points. I mean, you've not been beaten, but it's not great. If you lose any of them, you could lose 1, win 2, but it's who you lose to. You don't want to lose to teams around you. Lose to Chelsea or Spurs, and it's a big advantage for them. So I don't think we can afford to lose any, and I think winning 2 is ideal, really. You feeling better, says Jeff? Not totally better. I've got a really tickly throat and a bit of a cold and a headache. I tell you what, though, this is not a lie. I was in Manchester on Tuesday. I did the video outside Old Trafford. Had a load of stuff going on. Got in the car and driving back, listening to TalkSport, listening to the radio and stuff. And I hit Birmingham. And I had the heating on full blast. I was freezing cold. I got out of the car and I virtually collapsed. Basically crawled into the house, up the stairs, and just got into bed in my clothes and went to sleep. I felt terrible. Goldbridge looks like Elrond in Lord of the Rings. Well, I know who you mean because he was young Ned Stark as well in Game of Thrones, so I know who you mean. I don't know whether I look like him, but... Well, we've had 5 minutes and it's still 0-0. Ten Hag out. Stitchy, you made me laugh there. He said, when you hit Birmingham, you felt ill. Birmingham does that to people. Miss watching United on a Saturday, says Kevin. You've only got a week to wait. We're playing Chelsea at 5:30 a week on Saturday. So, yeah, it'd be nice to play on a Saturday. That's what happens when you're in the Europa League, though. You don't get to play on Saturday very often. I want to see some... Anthony's gone with the skill there. I think really... it's going to be interesting to see how Casemiro and Fred work together. But what I want to see is some good patterns of play from United here. And especially from Rashford, because there's not going to be a high line. There's no high line to get in behind for Rashford, so it's going to be more about technical ability. So it'll be interesting to see... These are the sort of games where if Rashford can have a good game, it's development, because... We all know Rashford can get in behind on the break. Only Omonia fans are chanting, says Inas. I don't know what's the attendance tonight. Fair play to people who've turned up for this, because I had quite a lot of tickets I could have allocated for this game if I want. For any, I should have. Well, I'm not. I can't really put it on Twitter, but I was. There's a lot of tickets available for this game tonight, so I don't know what the attendance is. How far is Manchester from where you live, says Pranay? About an hour 50 in the car. Why is there so much hate for United in America, says Animan? I don't know, I'm not American. Have you listened to the Partridge podcast, says Mark? No, not yet. I'm so behind on loads of stuff at the moment. Tuchel for England manager, thoughts? You need tequila for your throat, says Paolo. I would take Tuchel as England manager, yeah. But some people seem to think that we can't have a German as the manager because of the war. Look, I know that's a sensitive thing for some people, but I just think, you know, the whole point of moving on is that you move on, isn't it? But, you know, I judge Tuchel on his managerial ability. I would take him as England manager, yeah. United having a good bit of possession here. Rashford, nice ball into Ronaldo, who I don't want to see coming that deep, to be honest. The low with the cross, no, too much on it. I mean, it's all right for the number 9 to come deep and get involved, but I think Ronaldo, the whole point against a team that's not as good as you and is parking the bus is to keep that number 9 occupying the centre-backs. Stuck in work, cannot access the match, unfortunately, but United stand is a good second place. Keep up the good work, says Edward. I'll try to keep you updated, Edward. It's a goal kick at the moment. Edward, welcome to the Members Club. A different Edward, that is. Thanks for all the super chats. Ronaldo had half a chance there. I didn't see what happened because they had a goal kick, so Ten Hag's not very happy. Let's see. So goal kick, short. Terrible layoff. Rashford slips in Ronaldo. He is onside. I think he wants a FIFA penalty, Ten Hag. Yeah, you don't. I don't like FIFA penalties, Ten Hag, so I don't agree with that. What's your opinion on Arsenal's current runs? Says Laxey. Not a lot to say about it, really. They're doing very well, aren't they? You ever been to Coventry? I've worked in Coventry Active. Oh my God, Martinez has just played a terrible ball. Good interception by Martinez to get it back, though. That could have been an opportunity. Malacia's giving me Aaron Wan-Bissaka vibes with how he moves, says Jesus. No, don't do that to me. Nice ball by Bruno. Here he is. No, he's not. He doesn't move like Wan-Bissaka. Oh, Fred. Here's Malacia. Give it to Bruno. Rashford. Rashford. Oh, unlucky. Corner. That's good. That's good. What's your thoughts on United this season, says LGC? It's a bit of a mixed bag. I think there's reason to be positive, but also 3 losses is not great from 8 games. So it was really important that we beat Everton at the weekend because that could have been 4-4 instead of 5 wins and 3 losses. Corner to United. They've gone short again to Rashford, to Bruno. Oh, he can't believe it. He's put it right across the 6-yard box and no one's there to tap it in. Ronaldo's playing both false 9 and true 9, says Pranay. But no, look, United this season, there's been really bad and there's been really promising. And I think overall it's been more promising than bad. But, you know, the Brentford and Brighton games you can almost forgive because they were the first 2 games of the season. But the Man City game was a humiliation, which is why I think the next 3 games are so important. Newcastle, Chelsea, Spurs, whether we like it or not, they're all 3 clubs that are going to be pretty close to us over the next few years, hopefully. Spurs are a team that always want to be in the top 4. Chelsea certainly are going to be made for that. And Newcastle are the richest club in the world. So, yeah, we've got to... the next 3 games, I don't want to, you know, over-egg the pudding, but they are quite definitive in our season. If we were to lose 2 of the next 3, I think the season starts to look very, very worrying. If we can take 7 points from 9, 2 wins and a draw, I think the season starts to look very promising. So, as I say, tonight for me is a free hit to get some confidence and chemistry going, which we haven't seen in the first 10 minutes, to be honest. Newcastle will be a tough game on Saturday. Spurs will be a tough game on Wednesday, and then Chelsea away is going to be a tough game. So tonight has got to be about building momentum and chemistry, because I think many United fans at the moment, we don't know what we are. We know what Manchester United should be, but we don't know what we are. We don't know how good we are. And we are going to find out in the next 3 games. 120 million for Milinkovic-Savic. When I heard that, I just laughed my arse off. What are they smoking at Lazio? Says Samuel. Thank you very much. So they've got a corner here. Omonia. Cleared away by Bruno. Interesting observation here from Gucci with a super chat. Thank you very much. Says, watch Bruno when the ball is out wide. He doesn't come short like a Cam. He goes in the box like a second striker. And let's not blame Fred for not passing forward. Says Gucci. Joshua Bowwater says, whenever I can't sleep, I just put on an old LVG United game. It sends me straight down. Bruno's just whipped a cross in over here. Look, I could spend the whole half talking to you about Bruno Fernandes. As many people know, I'm a big fan of Bruno. I desperately wanted him at United, but I also can't lie that I do find him very frustrating, and I have done for the last 6 months. I don't know what's happened to Bruno. I don't know whether he's become indoctrinated at Man United, and there's plenty of players like this. They almost start to believe their own hype, and they seem to, almost accept that when you play well, winning team, when you play badly, or let's just try and go again. And I think Bruno's become a little bit like that. I'm just hoping that Ten Hag is going to change him and make him more consistent and a better footballer, because I just think Bruno's inconsistent. I think his style of football is inconsistent. He can pull off a pass that no one else can play, but then he can try and do it and fail. And I just want to see some consistency from Bruno. And I think if anybody can get that out of him, Ten Hag can. But I do agree. I think it's a great point that was made there by Gucci, that he does, even now, he does play very high up. And, I'd like to see him more involved in the midfield build-up. I mean, how old is Bruno now? He's got to be about 26, 27. $28. A bit older than I thought. It's 28 last month. Yeah, I mean, look, if he's going to develop, he's got to start doing it. Would you replace Bruno if you could, says Samuel? I'd have to do it on a case-by-case basis. I mean, look, I think I don't think Bruno gets discussed as much as De Gea does, but I think they're very similar. 28 for an outfield player is, goalkeepers play till they're a lot older. So David De Gea being 31 is the equivalent of about 27 for an outfield player. So De Gea and Bruno are about the same age in their careers. And yet no one talks about Bruno being a player that might need to be replaced. I don't want Bruno to be replaced because he's a player that I like, but I also do not think that any United player... I mean, one of the positives about the conversations about Ronaldo and De Gea, who are legends of United Football Club, one of the positives is it just shows you that nobody is above being replaced. I mean, Rooney had to go, didn't he? So I don't think there's anything wrong with scrutinising a player like Bruno or Rashford or anybody else. Do I think Bruno is definitely the solution for Manchester United as a centre attacking midfielder? No. I hope he can be, but he's still got there's a lot of things that he needs to do to his career. And I do think he gets away. I do think he gets away with it a lot. I think there's almost this unwritten rule that Bruno is undroppable and he's consistent, and he's not. He needs to do a lot more. Joash says, if you're a football purist, you'll never like a player like Bruno. Well, I know Ricky's not mad into him, so I suppose that proves the point a little bit. But, everyone knows how I like to play football. I like progressive play. I like wing play. I like to move the ball around from back to front. It's not ticky-tack of the sort of football I like, but it is progressive. It is, about passing forward and, but I do like getting down the wings a lot. So I think Bruno is not a player that... I'm not anti-Bruno. I really liked him at Sporting Lisbon, and I liked him in the first year at United. But I think he's a player that if Pep Guardiola got hold of him, he'd either kick him out or turn him into a player. But he wouldn't be able to use Bruno in his current form because he's so inconsistent on the ball. Pep would not like a player that can play a worldie. For every 5 passes he plays, 2 of them are worldies and 3 of them are misplaced. That's not what Pep wants. So Pep would either get the best out of Bruno by making him more consistent, or he would get rid of him. Bruno's goals have dried up due to a lack of confidence, I think. When he first joined, he had more long shots going in, says Saqib. Look, I think the thing I would say about Bruno is the same thing I've said about De Gea. It's the same thing I've said about Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Dalot. Let's see where we are in May, because they've got the season. Let's see where they are in May, because we've got a manager now who coaches, and if he can get the best out of them, happy days. If they can't, then maybe it's time to move. Good play by Anthony here. Casemiro. 20 minutes 0-0. We're struggling to score goals a bit, aren't we? Contextually, I'm not just talking about this game. I would happily replace Bruno with Odegaard at the moment, says Matteo. See, Bruno needs to pass that ball a lot quicker. A lot quicker. You've allowed them to get their players back now. Poor ball by Malacia. And the problem Man United are having in this game, and I'm pretty sure Ten Hag will be saying it, is you're too slow on the ball. You've got to be more confident and quicker on the ball. We've got a lot of possession, but we're not hurting them. We've got to move the ball quicker. I think running back and long ball strategy doesn't work for Bruno. He works best around the penalty box when he's attacking players around him, says Sarvish. Thank you very much. More one-touch football, yes, Nizam, yeah. Marshy, just got in from work. What was your score prediction? I think it was 4 or 5-0. But yeah, no, I think you're absolutely spot on. You know, some of these players can play first touch football, and I would be saying let's have 5 minutes of trying to pass the ball first time. Everyone's taking a touch, and it's too easy for the opposition to get back into place. I don't think anybody's turning on Bruno. I think his last 6 months have been very inconsistent. But we've got a new manager who wants to coach now. Let's see what he can do. Chosen one, the ball isn't moving quick enough. Why are we kicking to the Stretford end first? Bloody hell. I don't remember the last time we did that. Why are we kicking into... I'm going to tweet that. Why are we kicking into the Stretford end first? That's a brilliant observation. That is a very, very good observation, and I don't know why. Must have lost the toss. But yeah, but even we don't win every toss. We don't win every toss, and we still always attack the Stretford end. It's like the Liverpool with the Kop. Mark, do you trust Lissandro? I definitely do, says Treble Champ. Stick and stones, but say Bruno, he will shut you all down. Ali, I think you need to grow up a little bit. I mean, if you can't constructively talk about a player that's not very consistent, it's not about hating on a player. I mean, it's not like Bruno Fernandes is anywhere near his best or has been for 6 months. He's nowhere near as good as he could be. He's a player that needs to improve. I'm a fan of Bruno, and I completely understand the criticism around his game, and I think he gets away with a lot compared to a McTominay or a Rashford or a Martial. I mean, he's the captain as well. I don't think Bruno does enough. I don't. I think there's a lot more to come from him. I mean, he's got an assist here. Oh, he should have had an assist. Played Rashford in. Good save by the keeper. Should have been 1-0. We lost the coin toss, but I know we lost the coin toss. So United are attacking the Stretford end in the first half for the first time I can remember. And I think what normally happens is, even if the opposition win the toss, they just stay as they are. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I can't remember the last time we attacked the Stretford end first half. Yeah, Tony, I know they chose ends, but what I'm saying is it doesn't normally happen. Nobody ever normally doesn't let us attack the Stretford end in the second half, which is a weird thing in itself. Why don't more teams win the toss and make us attack the Stretford end first half? Mind games, says Jaden. Yeah, I don't know why more teams don't do it. It's a bit of a scrappy half from United, isn't it? Good play by Rashford. Lay it off, lay it off, lay it off. Too greedy. Too fucking greedy. That is terrible from Rashford. He's done really well in the box. He's put the player on his arse. He's skipped past another player. Put the cross in. He goes for the shot. Now Ronaldo goes for a shot from the edge of the box. Pass the fucking ball. You're playing against a team of farmers. Just bloody get the first goal. City would be 5 up now by now, says Jem. Yeah, but City just on a different level. Here, Bruno shoots. Just wide. I thought it was in. We're over. We need to simplify this. Everybody is just trying to. I think it's a mindset. I think they think the opposition are shit. We should win 5 or 6-0. So the mindset's wrong. But you know. Pep would say this to his players: you win 5 or 6-0 by working for it. I don't think that Rashford chance was actually that easy. There was 2 defenders tracking back. Watermelon says, Farmers, yet we're losing. We're not losing, mate. It's 0-0. You might want to go to Specsavers. It's a disjointed midfield. This is the problem. I think we're very, very, very reliant on Christian Eriksen. I saw it in the match against Sociedad. No Eriksen, and that midfield really, you know, Casemiro's job's to break up the play and feed the ball forward. He's not there to be creative. Fred isn't really very good at it, and Bruno, we've just spent 10 minutes talking about how inconsistent he is. So I think Anthony's not had enough of the ball. Malacia is too narrow. He needs to be careful, says Kizza. Well, nearly half an hour and it's 0-0. Crap ball, Rashford, that. Love the content. Keep it up, says Joshua. Thanks, everyone. I don't know whether we've hit 505,000, actually. Let me just have a quick look. Scooby-Doo, we're 10 subscribers away from 505,000 and I'll change it. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Casemiro has been class. Sancho on in the second half, says Elben. A bit off topic, but what are your thoughts on Mbappe wanting to leave Manchester PSG, says Gary. I don't really have any thoughts on it really, apart from an interesting observer. I wouldn't want him at Man United. I've said this about Erling Haaland. Put Erling Haaland in this Man United side. He ain't scoring as many goals as he gets at Man City. He's not scoring half. United need to buy better players. We don't need one superstar. Good ball by Fred into Ronaldo. He needs to pass that back to Anthony. That's a good ball by Malacia into Rashford. Another shot. I think Rashford's on a shoot on sight game and he probably will score. It was a good shot, but you can't complain about what Rashford does here. But he does seem to be in that. Look, Rashford's been criticised for this before, and this is why I say it. Head down, I'm going to have a shot. It works if you score, but it can't work all the time. Corner. Crap. Rashford. What was that? Cupid says he's desperate. Well, this is the thing. When it's 0-0 after half an hour, the players start to... Maybe they start to just panic a little bit. Greg says, what's to be critical about that shot, Mark? I didn't say I wasn't critical about it. You might want to open your ears up. I said it was a good shot, but I said overall, Rashford, like the one where he should have crossed it, all I'm seeing from Rashford in this first half an hour is shoot on sight from everywhere, which is not actually a good tactic to have. There was nothing wrong with that shot. It was a good save and it was probably the right choice, but he's been doing it for half an hour. Every time he gets it, he's shooting, and that's not going to please that man, Erik ten Hag. He's not the only one doing it. Ronaldo tried to do it 5 minutes ago from the edge of the box. Everybody is just trying to play the shot. Final ball's not been good in general. I don't think we've got Anthony. I don't think we've used the right side enough. You know, Anthony is the creative winger. I'd like to see him on the ball a little bit more. Any news about Donny van der Beek's injury, says Brian? Only what Eric said the other day, that it was more long-term with Wan-Bissaka. I mean, it's just weird at the end of the day. I love that from Martinez, the way he can just pass out from the back. Habib, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. McTominay looks like he's asleep, says Salah. He'll be on in a minute. That reminds me, Scooby-Doo, let's have a stretch. Get the tatter out. Right, here's the low. It's too slow. Moving the ball too slow. The way to pass, it's almost like the grass is long. Which I know Old Trafford isn't. It's like a carpet. Oh yeah, in a game like this, you can't blame the back four and you can't blame Fred and Casemiro. It's the front four's job to get the goals. We seem to wait outside the box a lot. I swear the Man Cities do runs to lose their markers, says SK. Thanks for the super chat, SK there. Mark, notice how Malacia tucks into CDM position the further we push into attack. That has to be a tactical move. Yes, it's called inverted fullbacks. Patricia, he does it a lot. Louis says Bruno's the problem. He's lost his creativity. One more. Ooh, Ronaldo. He could have played... Could have played it wide there. Again, if that's Rashford, I'm moaning about it, so I'm going to moan about it. I think Ronaldo there, the shot's not really on. That's another pass into space. One more player. I think it was Malacia. He had loads of space. No, that pass was there, Bruno. Casemiro with the shot. It's the bar. He's at the Denver. Casemiro hits the bar with the best shot of the night, and that's the CDM doing that. Fred, Bruno, another fucking shot. We're shooting too much from the edge of the box. Casemiro's was decent. Did the keeper save it? I don't know. Definitely at the bar. About Bruno, I feel that when Ronaldo came, Bruno lost protagonism. I think that made him feel jealous of Ronaldo, and therefore he misses passes to Ronaldo, so he don't shine. What do you think? I don't know about that, Martin, because Bruno loves Ronaldo. So I've never really subscribed to the point that Bruno and Ronaldo can't play together, because Bruno loves Ronaldo. So it doesn't make sense. That's it. Start. First time pass. Look how deep Ronaldo is here. Get in the box. Yusuf says he loves him as a person, doesn't mean they work on the pitch together. Oh yeah, I mean they might not work on the pitch together, but what I'm saying, it's not deliberate. I don't think Bruno's purposely playing shit passes to Ronaldo. Keep up the good work, Mark, says David. Thank you very much. So I tell you what, in general, it's a very worrying 35 minutes, and I think this is where Man United are at. Really, we're not going to get that consistency. Very good result against Everton, but it's a big work in progress. Just like you said, Sunday, players saved their screamers for United. Keepers saved their best displays against United as you. I don't think their keepers had a tough save to make. I think Rashford's had a couple of good shots and they've been decent saves by the keeper, but I don't think there's been a worldy save. I'm going to tweet it now and then I'm going to tell you what I'm saying, but I'd say probably six or seven more signings. I mean, I just tweeted it there. Basically, I just said that we struggle against teams that sit back. We're terrible at patiently unlocking a deep defence. United love it when a team attacks them and they can hit them on the break. I mean, look at how many players they've got, and we don't generally know what to do. Hate Thursday nights, disrupts the training week, and we play like our heads aren't in it. Match day mode, half in the game and half prepared for the Premier League. This is Brian McDonald. Also, I'm not a United supporter, but I can't help but watch your great streams. Without meeting you in person, you seem like a nice guy. Thank you, Matthew Jones. Appreciate the super chat. I mean, even this here, I mean, they've got so many players back. There's a way to... There's a way to dismantle a team that's sitting deep, and this isn't it. Let's have a quick look at the stats, which we'll be looking at in the second half anyway. But 79% possession, 13 shots to 0, 4 shots on target to 0, 319 passes to 84. But you know what? That is very dominant. But how many of those shots have been clear-cut chances? I can't think of a goal apart from the Rashford one on his left foot, which wasn't as easy as it looked. We've not carved them open enough in 35 minutes. Mata would be good in a game like this. Yes, this sort of game is perfect for Juan Mata, David Silva, most of the Man City side, intelligent magicians around the edge of the box. I mean, look, our number 10 is Bruno, who suits counter-attacking football. He's not a Juan Mata. He's not a David Silva. He's not a Kevin De Bruyne. He's not an Odegaard. He's not a possession-based number 10. He's a counter-attacking number 10. And it's going to take time for him to adapt to this, where you've got to be patient. You've not always got to look for the killer pass. When you're counter-attacking, your whole job is to play the killer pass. That's nice. Oh, both going for the same ball. If we're good to see what Pellistri can do in the second half, yeah. But, you know, the horrible thing is, Paul, we're not 4-0 up at half-time, are we? So, you know, he's got to win this game now. So he can't sub 4 or 5 players off with an hour gone because the first team haven't won the game. Eddie Howe's watching this game with a smile on his face, says Daniel. Well, if I was Eddie Howe at the weekend, I would play a well-organised back 7 with pace on the break. Isaac, if St Maximum is fit. Here's Anthony. Ericsson at half-time, says Lesnide. You know what? Again, I'll repeat it. I think it's such a shame that Donny van der Beek isn't fit, because I think Donny van der Beek would offer you something different. If Rashford is the inverted winger, Malacia needs to be overlapping on the outside. He's too tucked in and we're way too narrow, says Adam. Here's Anthony. First time to really get a cross in. Yeah, oh, fucking hell. That's the chance. That's the chance. Lovely cross by Anthony. And don't worry, Fred's having a smile about it. It doesn't matter. You've missed another sitter, but it doesn't matter. As long as you smile about it, it's fine. Fucking rubbish. I'd have buried that. Most of you would. That's an absolute sitter from Fred. Lovely. This is where I want to get Anthony on the ball, where he can put a cross in. Lovely cross. Free header for Fred. Over the bar, but at least he smiled. Who's more boring to watch? Liz Truss, Starmer, or United? Says Zane. Hello from Alabama. Thank you to everyone involved in the United Stand. Great community and even better content. Outdoor adventures with Marine and Rattlesnake J. Thank you very much for the super chat there, Marine and Rattlesnake J. Who's more? Okay, we've done that from Zane. I presume Arsenal won. Thanks everyone who subscribed, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. We have hit 505. Casemiro showing nothing but class, says Sim. Ajax level Donny or Bruno, says Toho. I think Donny could force his way into this team if he was fit. He's got to be fit though, hasn't he? You know, I think he had every right to moan about the way he was treated under Solskjaer, but I mean, God, you get game time now. Get yourself bloody fit. There you go, 505,000. Thanks everyone for subscribing. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. Get involved. We're 5 minutes away from half-time. Half-time poll, best signing United have made of the summer. I'll do that, Barry. I like that one. I think I know who will win, but there we go. Can't remember the last time United performed well in a game they were expected to win easily, says Andy. Yeah, I said that last week. We never do it. You can predict 3-4, 5-0, but we never do it. Well done, Casemiro. Come on, Anthony. It's sloppy. Oh, he's crossed it and you've scored. Oh my God. Bruno. The wish Bruno. They were in there. It's not our Bruno. He's in down the left-hand side. Look, this is it's like watching Maguire. Look, Lindelof's got no pace. He's burnt it. All he's got to do is cross it and they've got to tap in. What's he doing? Who is that Pratt? Bruno. Not our Bruno. Omonia's Bruno. They should have been 1-0 up. I can't believe what he's just done. He thinks he's Ollie Mers in Soccer Aid. He's down the left-hand side. All he's got to do is square it and they're winning 1-0. He's gone for a shot. Bruno from Wish. Sarvesh says, I disagree. Bruno's not a counter-attacking player. That's why he's not playing well. He works best near the penalty box. Quick one-touch through balls. Oh, yeah, Sarvesh. We've seen loads of that. Bruno's just the reincarnation of David Silva. He's an intricate one-touch, 5-yard passer on the edge of the box. I mean, I don't know what you've been watching, mate. Maybe you've been playing FIFA, but Bruno ain't that. Bruno's a counter-attacking number 10. He wants to play the Hollywood pass over 30 yards 6 or 7 times a minute. We're nearly in again there. Got to be bloody careful here. I'm not joking. Omonia should be 1-0 up. That was a great, great chance. Okay, now. Skulls, thank you very much for the super chat. Niket says, Mark, interesting point about the types of number 10s. With Bruno being counter one, what do you think about De Bruyne? Modric is a couple of 10s who are exceptional in both possession and counter styles. I think if you look at somebody like a Juan Mata. As a number 10, Juan Mata's not particularly quick. He's a magician. He's got a magnetic first touch. He loves the give and go. He loves the intricate 5-yard pass. Juan Mata's fantastic. David De Gea, quick off his line there as well, by the way. Come on. Let's give him a little bit of that credit. Right out of his box. I think Bruno's a counter-attacking number 10. And I think De Bruyne is a combination of the two. He can hit a 40-yard pass. He can also play 5-yard intricate. So I think De Bruyne is the modern hybrid of, combining a David Silva, Juan Mata with a more, counter-attacking number 10. Rashford's just been fouled. So we've got a chance to put a cross in. It'd be nice to get a goal before half time, because once you've got the goal, goals change games. Bruno with the cross. It's not a bad one. Oh, Casemiro. Yeah, again, it should be 1-0. Oh, no, it wasn't as easy as Fred's, to be fair. He's got a couple of players in the way. Yeah, he should score, but it's not as easy. And that's it. It's half-time, and it's 0-0 between Manchester United and Omonia. And to be honest, we've dominated the play, we've dominated the ball, but we haven't really had the clear-cut chances, and it's 0-0 here. Interestingly enough, it's let me just tell you what the score is in the group that we're in as well. It's currently 0-0 between Sociedad and Sheriff as well, so no goals in our group at all. Everyone's been learning heading from 50p head, says Seb Watson. And Bruno should already have had an assist to Rashford. That was one touch through ball. He is not able to do that enough because we're playing counter-attacking, says Sarvesh. I just wanted to put an appreciation chat in for you still putting out content when you're feeling rough, says Alec. Thank you very much. Yeah, get your thoughts in at half-time. Let me just stop the clock. It's 0-0 for Manchester United against Omonia. And look, you know what? I'm not going to overreact to this. Do I think De Gea is declining, says Kartik? Weird. Not even going to start talking about David De Gea. What's David De Gea was brilliant against Everton, and what more do you want from him today? So I don't know that you're just trying to change the topic there. Irrelevant, absolutely irrelevant. So let me just pause the stats on the screen so you can see that. So Manchester United have been dominant, absolutely dominant. 80% possession, 15 shots, way more passes. I mean, 3 times, nearly 4 times the amount of passes they've done. But that is shocking. That is absolutely shocking when you look at that, because they've had the best 2 chances of the game was for them and us. Them in the second, them right near the end, half time when he should have squared it, and it would have been 1-0 to them. And Rashford 1-on-1 on his left foot. Fred header probably should have scored as well. So, all right, there's been a couple of bad finishes, but we should be creating a lot more than we have. I mean, for me, the 2 things that have stood out: we're no good on the ball. against a team that sits in deep. We've just got no idea. There's no cohesion. There's no confidence. There's no composure. The 3 C's. And we should be carving them open. Man City would be 4 or 5-0 up. And I don't want to compare us to Man City because Pep's been at that club for years, but that front 4 have got to do better. Ronaldo, Rashford, Bruno and Anthony. They're the reason that we're 0-0. I think Casemiro's had a good half. Fred's been okay. The back 4, what are they supposed to do? They've not conceded. They've moved the ball forward. We've had enough possession. We've had enough shots. But most of these shots have been speculative, selfish in some cases, from outside the box. We've got to move the ball quicker. Everybody wants to take a touch. You've got to start playing one-touch football. You know, we're doing all these passing drills in the open training sessions. I'm not seeing it on the pitch. Where's the pass and move? Where's the little 5-yard pass and move? Where's the clever runs? It's also static. You know, Rashford gets it, lays it off, and there's no run. Ronaldo gets it, lays it off, and tries to get a shot off. Bruno gets it, and he's looking for these little dinks or shots. Nobody ever gets the ball in the final third, and you think, oh, this is going to lead to something. There's no, you know, like when you watch rugby, and they go, somebody runs past the runner and you think they're not going to take the ball and then they do and then there's a back pass. It's something they've practiced on the training ground. There'll be a great move where the defence doesn't know where the ball is and they just go back pass. This is what we should be working on. We should be working on scenarios to break down a deep sitting side. You know, we should be working on patterns of play and movement. And it's not just passing, it's movement. I don't see enough intelligent movement. Nobody seems to be willing to make the run. The only player I see in a United shirt that's willing to make those sort of runs is Anthony Martial. And I call it it's not even the selfish run, it's the run I as a fan and you as a fan and the manager's going to go, that goal happened because of you. Nobody makes the unselfish run. You know, why? I'd love to see Rashford darting in behind and then Bruno ignoring it to use Malacia. The decoy run, the unselfish run, no one makes it. And it makes it very easy to defend because Omonia are not having to go with any decoy runs. We're very easy to read. And we're shooting from the edge of the box because we can't break them down. I said it on Twitter about 20 minutes ago. We are set up to be a very good counter-attacking team, and we've been that for 5 years. And even though we've got one of the best possession-based managers in the world, we are still a counter-attacking team because he's got so many pieces of a jigsaw that we're counter-attacking players. Rashford's a counter-attacking player. Bruno's a counter-attacking player. Anthony's only just joined us. Ronaldo isn't really a counter-attacking player, but Ronaldo is Ronaldo. But Fred's not a possession-based player either. So we're not a possession-based player. And I think that whilst Ten Hag is the right manager, for us to be a decent team that can, you know, be comfortable in possession and create chances against a team that sits in, I still think he needs 4 or 5 new signings across that side. So it's early days with Ten Hag. It's nothing to do with him. But you can't make wine from water. And these players are just not comfortable. They're not comfortable. Mario Franco says, why are people acting like De Gea suddenly learned the art of coming off his line? Why not think that no other manager asked him to do it? Says Mario. Good point. I was driving from Abu Dhabi to Dubai, 120 kilometres, doing 120 miles an hour during first half, listening to you, Mark, the perfect trip companion, says Hayder. Thank you very much, mate. Hope you had a safe trip. And hi, Mark. I think we're so desperate to score more goals that it's made us so snappy with all our shots, says Manchild. Overall, I don't think it's been bad so far, Mark. Bruno's been missing, but besides that, Omonia are doing a great job holding their shape, says Vin. Yeah, but we're allowing them to make that shape, you know? I think, you know, we should be doing better. Ten Hag is fuming, says Octavia. I think he would be. And I'd be very happy to discuss that. He will be fuming. It doesn't matter what I think or what you think. I might be quite happy with that half and say the goal will come. You might be fucking fuming, saying you could have been watching something else. It doesn't matter. Erik Ten Hag will not be happy because that does not reflect on the football that he wants to play. And as somebody said, you know, actually, you know what? Here's a prime example of this on a very, very wish alternative. But I was playing FIFA today. I wasn't feeling particularly well. I didn't really want to do any work, so I played a bit of FIFA, had a cup of tea. And I was playing online against somebody, yeah? And they weren't very good. and I should have beat them about 8-0, and I beat them 3-2. They kept, every time I was on the attack, they kept rushing their goalkeeper out. And I kept trying to lob the keeper instead of just playing the game and going round the goalkeeper and having an open goal. I just kept doing it. He'd rush their goalkeeper out and try and shoot from 30 yards. I should have beat him 8-0, and I ended up winning 3-2 because I knew he was crap, and I knew it could have been a goal, and I knew that they were rushing their keeper out all the time. So I kept trying to just make them look a twat. And actually, if I just played my natural game, I'd have scored 4 or 5 goals. United are like that tonight. In their head, they're playing a team that they should win 6 or 7-0. But you know, the reason Man City would win this 6 or 7-0 is because they would play the same way they would against Liverpool at Anfield. They would play their game. United have fallen into the trap against the crap team. They think that they don't need to work as hard as you do against a good team. And the reality is, and Ten Hag will be telling them, it doesn't matter whether you're playing Liverpool or Luton. It doesn't matter whether you're playing Man City or Macclesfield. It doesn't matter whether you're playing Spurs or Solihull. You approach it the same way, with the same intensity, the same game plan. You don't start thinking you've got more time on the ball because they're shit, because that gives them more time to defend. You don't start shooting from 30 yards because you think they're shit, because you're not even on target, so you can't score. And that's what United have done in that half. They've taken their foot off the pedal subconsciously because they think they're playing somebody so bad that they don't need to work as hard. And they're forcing it. They're basically forcing it when really they should just be playing their natural game. And that is what's costing us here. We're taking an extra touch. We're shooting. We're not playing as a team. If we were playing like we did against Everton, we'd be 4 or 5-0 up, but we're not. We're playing like we're playing Omonia, and it should be easy. Adrijo says, I stopped watching football for well over 10 years. Started watching again this season. You've reignited my passion for football and Man United. I love what you do, says Adrijo. Thank you very much. Adam predicted 5-0. 5-0 for us, like De Jong coming. Could very well happen, but probably not. Based on history, I don't think we win 5-0 pre-season, says Michael Fetty. And I think we just need to be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day, and I think we have played relatively well so far. Final ball needs some work, says Wazim. Well, I disagree, Wazim. I mean, I don't think it's any reason to panic. But if I was Ten Hag, I would be bollocking them. And I would say, just slow the fuck down with your minds. Speed the ball up, but stop trying to score worldies. Play the extra pass. Like, there's always space. There's always a pass. You get to the edge of the bar and you're shitting yourselves. You go, yeah, edge of the box, you're having a shot. Just pass your way through them quickly. Move the ball. Make the decoy run. Create the space. Overload them. We're just not playing the way we should be playing. And I think the mentality is wrong. And the final ball is always crap. We can't cross it either. The one time we got Anthony in a position where he can whip a cross in and he put it right on Fred's head and he should have scored. I want us to work up the pitch, and that's the problem. Anthony's getting the ball nearer his own halfway line than the touchline. Got to work your way up the pitch. Work your way up the pitch and allow Anthony to put a cross in. I think Eriksen would help a lot. Yeah, but we can't be totally reliant on Eriksen. This is what we're like without Eriksen. What if he gets injured? Let's get Eriksen on and take off Fred. Fred is just adding nothing to this team, says Abhishek. Isn't our natural game right now to counter-attack? Yeah, we are a counter-attacking team, Armin, but obviously Erik Ten Hag wants to evolve into something else. Would I make any changes at half-time? I also want to do a poll on who you think's been the signing of the summer, so let me just do that. Signing of the summer, I did say we'd do that. Would I make any changes at half-time? Honestly, yes. Do I think he will? No. Let me just do this. Okay, so you've got 4 options there for signing of the season for Manchester United. Would I make any changes at half-time? Yes, I would. I just do not think that this... I think we need to be better in the final third with the ball. And I think one player that can be that is Sancho. So I would get Sancho on. I'd even consider taking Ronaldo off and resting him for Sunday and putting Rashford through the middle. I would get Sancho on. I'm not really bothered whether he takes Rashford off or Ronaldo, but I would get Sancho on because he actually is good on the ball and patient on the ball. I think we need that. I'd get Eriksen on for Bruno as well. I'd get Sancho and Eriksen on in the front four and take 2 off. I'd keep Antony on. So Bruno comes off and one of Ronaldo and Rashford come off, and I'll get Sancho and Eriksen on. I'll keep Fred on. I'm not bothered. I need Eriksen closer to the goal anyway. So Eriksen and Sancho on, Bruno and Rashford or Ronaldo off. That's the first 2 subs I would make, yeah. Rashford would be one of the top players in the world if he could sort out his decision making and stop thinking he's 2008 Ronaldo. Just simplify his game, says Zane. Yeah, but you know what? In fairness, Zane, he's not the only one doing that today. Ronaldo's had a couple of shots. Bruno's had a couple of shots. Everybody's guilty of rushing it and being a bit selfish. Well, we need to sub Eriksen. Sorry, I've got a bit of an itchy nose. We need to sub Eriksen or Zidane and Sancho for Fred and Bruno. Bruno has been poor and we need more creativity. Give Ronaldo 15 more minutes and then sub him off as well, says Noah. Well, remember, we've got to win the bloody game as well. I mean, we've been 0-0 for 45 minutes. We could be 0-0 for another 45 minutes. So we can't start chucking on Garnacho, Palestri, Zidane, Iqbal or Alanga at the moment until we're comfortable in the game, which we're not at the moment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. And we are doing player ratings, so they will come out on the 70th minute. You mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. So get involved with that. Currently, Manchester United are 0-0. 0-0 with Omonia. We're not very good in the first half, are we? We're not very good at all in the first half. Massive games to come, of course. Massive games to come at the weekend. Newcastle, Spurs, and of course we've then got Newcastle, Spurs, and Chelsea. Give Rashi both barrels. He's been horrible. No team play at all. Trying to score for his socials compilations. Says Treble Champ. Look, if I'm talking like this and you're talking like this, you can absolutely Scooby-Doo guarantee that Ten Hag will not be very happy with that half. And that's what the job of the manager is. You know, as fans, we can go which way we like, but he won't be happy with that. Martinez has been the standout player for me, followed by Eriksen. Martinez has been great despite the media giving him a hard time for his height, says Connor. Ten Hag's coming out here for the second half. Remember, he'll want to make some subs in the second half as well. Ket, thank you very much for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Thanks everyone who subscribed as well. We're just about to start the second half here. He will want to make some subs in the second half because we're playing Newcastle on Sunday afternoon. It's not far away. It's 1-0 to Sociedad, says Ronan. Yeah, I mean, Rashford passes to Shaw but ignores Malacia, says Brian. We're going to have to beat Sociedad to finish top of this group, aren't we? Let's be honest. Loving the constant Glazer out chance, says Arman. Martinez passing from the back is 100. Yeah, it's so good to watch, that is. Kia. Doesn't look happy, Ten Hag. Don't think he will be happy. The Fish Truck says, am I the only one who thinks Casemiro's been excellent? Look, as I said, you need to know football to know this, but Martinez has been very good and Casemiro has been very good. Their job is not to make it 5-0 at half time. Their job is to make it, is to do their job. And as a CDM, Casemiro has been very good. That's better. This is it. 1-0. Anthony. Good save. Rashford. Oh my God. Great double save by the goalkeeper, but it should be 1-0. And you know why it should have been 1-0? Because we did exactly what I said. Play the extra pass. Rashford plays the pass to Ronaldo. Ronaldo plays the extra pass to Anthony. Anthony shoots. Good save. Rashford, you think, is going to score. And keeper's having a good game now. I hope Anthony whips in more crosses, says Josh. But that was better because we played the extra pass. In the first half, Rashford would have shot. He didn't. He passed to Ronaldo. In the first half, Ronaldo would have shot. He didn't. He passed to Anthony. And then we had the chance. That's what in the first few seconds of the second half, we've done exactly what we were talking about at half time. We've actually played the extra pass and it creates the space to get the better chance. David says this keeper. MC says Anthony's got a score. I think they've both got a score there. Here's Rashford. Play the pass, mate. So let me just close the poll. Signing of the season. Ericsson got 26%, but Martinez got 45%. So there you go. Martinez has been our signing of the summer. I think Casemiro might end up being it, but yeah, I'd go with that at the moment. Nice play. Come on. Come on, Bruno. That pass needed to go quicker. Good save. Good save again. This is better, though. This is better. I know people are going, oh, my God, the keeper, but much better second half. Much better. That was much better. Even Bruno there, you know, in the first half, he definitely would have had a shot. He didn't. He waited. Got it to Malacia. You can definitely tell that Ten Hag has said at half-time what we said. Stop shooting and start playing the extra pass. Play on, play on. Right, Bruno, pass. Rashford, look for the pass. Yellow card. I'm not worried about the keeper. Not worried about the keeper. The reality is we're better in the second half. We're moving the ball about. We're thinking more. Mark, are you from Ohio? No, Nab. I think speed is. Patch says you're better than BT. Are you serious right now? We'll win this game. I'm more focused on Newcastle at the weekend, Spurs, Chelsea. At the end of the day, I don't think goal difference. Alanga on for Ronnie, says Kartik. Not till we're winning. Rashford. Go on, that's the pass. Anthony, oh my God. Yeah, I'm not bothered about this. I'm not bothered about this as long as we win it. But I'm bothered about the games at the weekend. But I don't think goal difference makes any difference in the group stage, does it? It's head-to-head. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know whether goal difference makes any difference. Much better in the second half. They've had a bollocking, definitely. They've been told to do the things we were discussing. Move the ball quicker, better, and make the extra pass instead of having the long shot. God damn! Is it true that the Glazers are trying to sell the naming rights to Old Trafford? If the Glazers stay, Old Trafford will go. Will be the, they'll sell the name of the stadium to rebuild it, which is a fucking disgrace. If they rebuild the stadium and stay in control by selling the naming rights, then United fans should be there in front of the diggers stopping it. And that's the thing. You know what? I was talking to somebody about this a couple of months ago. That's something that fans can get involved in because the fans really love the protests. Well, I wouldn't say they love the protests, but they're willing to do the protests, yeah? If the Glazers don't sell the club and then they finance the stadium rebuild off a loan or by naming rights, How hard is it for United fans to protest and stop diggers coming in and stuff like that? Mark, you look like older Elrond from the Rings of Power, says Yellow Bathing Suit. Oh. If Eric Ten Hag fills out that squad this year, Casemiro might be it, but for immediate impact, Martinez hands down, says Sean Finity. Thanks, Daz. I'm on the mend. Still don't feel great. Looking forward to my bed tonight, but thankfully, I wouldn't have been able to do this last night. I was just way too rough, but I've quite enjoyed it. Well, I always enjoy the interaction anyway, but the game's not been great, but the team lacks personality. The team lacks leadership. I've always said that. We lack personality and we lack leadership, and it comes across as panic. We get panicked. You know, some of these players, the shirts are too big for them. They don't have the mentality to be a Man United player because they can't calm themselves down and be patient with the ball. And patient with the ball doesn't mean being boring. Patient being with the ball means playing the right pass at the right pace, at the right distance. And too many of these players, they panic. Ohio Bridge, says Nabil. Look, I could instantly make United be 3-0 up in 10 minutes if you could give me 3 players, right? Take Bruno off, bring De Bruyne on. Take Fred off, bring Eriksen on. Don't even need to buy a player. And take Rashford off and bring Foden on. We'd be 3-0 up in 10 minutes. Maybe not in 10 minutes, but De Bruyne, Eriksen and Foden for Rashford, Bruno and Fred would just make that team instantly confident, composed and the right type of attack for a game like this. That doesn't mean I want to take Rashford off or Fred off or Bruno off. I'm just saying that if you change those 3 players for those 3 players I've mentioned, which is completely unrealistic, but they would suit what you need in a game like this. Composure, calm, confidence, cohesion. I mean, even that there, it's worked between Malacia and Foden, and Bruno. But do you see the way? Do you notice this about United? The passing is terrible. Like that ball from Malacia bounced up to Bruno, who bounces it back to him. If that's Man City, Pep would be fuming. He'd be like, "Why is there a bounce on that pass? Why is it in the air? Why?" The football. When you throw a ball in the air, it wants to hit the grass. Keep the ball on the grass, not on the air. And even our build-up passing is sloppy. We can't even make the ball move easily on the eye. Like that Malacia pass to Bruno should have been on the floor and on the floor back, smooth. But it's not. Bruno's got to work to pass it back because it's bouncing. Then Malacia's got to work to do something with it because it's bouncing. Come on the lads, says Greg, just checking in to say hi. Charlie says, where do you think Man United will finish in the league this year? I've already said I think we'll finish 5th, and I don't think we'll win the Europa League. Look, I'm optimistic about what Ten Hag can do, but I'm realistic to the enormity of the job. You'll get United fans saying, "Oh, you're just being negative." I watch United in the Manchester derby. I watch United in games like this and last week in Cyprus, and it just reminds me of how much work there is to do. This team is not set up to play the way we want to play or the way Ten Hag wants to play. He's either got to train these players for a very long time to make them do it, or he's got to remove these players. So if we do get Champions League football, he deserves massive praise because I just don't think we're ready. I still think there'll be more. I've said it so many times. This season will be a roller coaster. There will be losses. There will be down points. There will be up points. But ultimately, I just don't think we're consistent enough. And I don't think we will be consistent enough for a while. Seb says, same old low block issues. Yeah, I mean, and look, you know what? It is quite embarrassing that we cannot deal with a low block. And it's not even a good low block. I mean, it's a Cyprus low block. You know, a decent low block is an Atletico Madrid, isn't it? This is not a good low block, and we still can't break it down. I guarantee you, if we were playing Stevenage, they'd probably fancy themselves to shut us out. We've had nearly an hour now. This is where we should be making 4 or 5 subs. You know, 0-0 with our first team for an hour. And the only first team players that are missing really are Varane and Sancho. And they're centre-back. Sorry, Varane and Shaw. And they're defenders. They're not going to make us score goals. I mean, Eriksen obviously makes a big difference, but it's scary. Name your subs, Marks, as orange. Probably the same as half time. Bruno off for Eriksen. Sancho on for either Rashford or Ronaldo. So Sancho's coming on and Luke Shaw. But he won't be happy that he's got to make substitutions to win a game like this. Come on, United, says Renate. Oh, they're in here. They're in here. It's a lovely cross. It's got to be a handball. He's giving it, yeah. Theon, how you feeling? I'm feeling all right, apart from I'm getting a little bit impatient. I still think we'll win the game, but we're going to have the piss taken out of us if we win it by 1 or 2 anyway. Oh, here we go. Rashford. Oh, dear. Not his night. Opinion on his signing as a De Gea replacement, says Kurt. I'm not really talking about goalkeeper replacements. We've done it already. I don't know whether Rashford was offside here. He's got to score this, though. I'm stunned. That's Marcus Rashford's signature move, that is. That's like when you're playing WWE or Mortal Kombat and you go, finish him. Get over here. That's Rashford's finishing move, that is. Oh, Anthony's coming off. And Malacia. So Shaw's on for Malacia and Anthony's off for Sancho. And Lindelof's just had a header there. Fred should be in prison for fraud and the haircut, says Upbeat Sarcastic. Mark, what's going on? Why are we not scoring to sleep tight? Mark, why are Omonia's fans so loud and we're so quiet? It's like we're the ones playing away and not at home. I don't really have a problem with that, you know, it's arrogance. You know, you're not going to get the same atmosphere in a United ground when we're playing Omonia as you are when we play Newcastle or Liverpool, because it's a more exciting game. I think United fans are not going to be roaring and up for it when it's not a game really to be massively up about. But for them, you can understand it. It's a chance of a lifetime, isn't it? Spent so many years chasing long balls, these players just look lost when they passed up to the box and realise they still haven't beaten the defence, says Dorian. So I don't know what we've done here. I think Rashford's gone to the right. Sancho's gone to the left. I don't know whether Rashford's gone up front or what, but Sancho's gone to the left. But this is why you need the likes of Donny van der Beek and Anthony Martial and Aaron Wan-Bissaka fit, because you need to be able to rotate in games like this, because most of these players are now playing a full 90 minutes to get a result, and then they've got to try and do it in a more important game on Sunday. You can't do this. You can't do it. You can't ask Dalot to play 90 minutes in a game like this and then ask him to do it on Saturday and then ask him to do it on Wednesday. We're going to burn out, I'm afraid. There's just not enough rotation. And I don't think that's Ten Hag's fault, but the squad depth just isn't there. Good play. Good play. Oh, I needed that to go in. Lovely play between Sancho and Shaw, and the cutback goes to Bruno, and he puts it wide. There's a lot better, though. He's changed that left-hand side, hasn't he? Much better from Sancho, that. He wants to create. He wants to be creative. Alan585 says United have always had this problem, switching off with the small teams. It's a good move because we did the right thing. You get the ball to Luke Shaw, you get it to Sancho, you let them overlap, you let them work together. When you're playing against the low block, the thing I was always told, pass, 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 pass. You've got the ball, they don't have the ball. It's harder without the ball than it is with the ball. Pass, 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 pass. Move, move, make runs, pass, pass. Keep passing, find the space until you get the good chance, and then you score, and then their hearts break because they've got to score to get back in the game. And then pass, pass, pass again. Keep it going, keep it moving quick. Can't win the group if we draw this, says Seb Watson. Yeah, never thought of that. I thought we started the second half a lot better than we played the first half, but now we're starting to panic. Still 25 minutes. Devil Red says, Jesus, Mike, you haven't stopped moaning. I haven't started moaning, mate. Trust me, I'm not moaning because I really don't want to damage my throat to moan. So I've not been moaning at all. And if you think 0-0 against Omonia after 65 minutes is good, then, you know, your standards are lower than my cellar. Half a chance for Rashford again, puts it wide. This game just shows how badly we need players in the next transfer window, says Icky. Ronaldo wants a handball. He's waiting on VAR. We might get away with it. No, we won't get a handball for that. We won't get a handball for that. Well, we might do. You never know in Europe because they gave that one against Martinez. No, he's not giving it. Fucking hell. Corner. How can they give a handball against Martinez against Sociedad and then they don't give that one? Why can't we get an Italian ref? Where's this ref from? Well, it wasn't a penalty. What my point is, it wasn't a penalty against Martinez for handball and they still bloody gave it. Doesn't matter whether it's a handball or not in Europa League, you still get them given. Sociedad are 2-0 up. Casemiro's been caught here. That's a red. That's a disgusting tackle. Absolutely disgusting. He's off the floor. That is a red. That has got to be a red. 100% red. Disgusting. Disgusting tackle. Oh, get out. Absolute disgusting. Disgusting. The referee's got him given a yellow. Get out. Have both of those. Absolutely disgraceful. There's no place for that sort of tackle in football. It's giving him a yellow. He's off the floor. He's off the floor, both footed. You know me. I'll often say the game's gone soft, but that's the opposite of the game going soft. We're not playing in the 70s anymore. This ref's on the bloody. He's got his DeLorean parked outside. He's from the bloody 70s. What a prat. That's a red. I mean, it doesn't make any difference. It's not like they're not parking the bus anyway. See how Sancho suits this game, though, because it's high line possession. Leo says DeLorean was from the 80s. Have you never watched Back to the Future? Can you add XG to the statistics in the future? Must be 5 or more in this game, says Spencer. Got to move the ball quick. Come on. 20 minutes to go. Player ratings is going to open in a minute and this lot are going to get pained. Ronaldo shoots, wins a corner. Shouldn't shoot there, Ronaldo. I'm sorry. That's got to be a cross. It's not a shot. You shouldn't be shooting there. Never should shoot from there. Eriksen's coming on. We need players badly, but remember, for Fred, we're ahead of schedule on transfers according to these banker prats, says SR. So Eriksen comes on for Fred. No youth again. First team is playing 90 minutes ahead of a game against Newcastle. It's not good. So basically, who will play on Sunday? Martinez, De Gea, Dalot, Rashford, Bruno, Ronaldo, all on the pitch for 90 minutes. Dear me, I didn't think we'd be watching this sort of a panic in the last 20 minutes. What's going on with Garnacho, says Victor. You can't bring Garnacho or Iqbal or Palestri on. I keep saying this. You cannot bring them on in a game that you aren't winning. You bring young players on when you're winning 3 or 4-0 to allow them to just, play without fear and get used to it. You don't bring them on to win games for you when they've never bloody played in competitive games. They can't come on. And it's not Ten Hag's fault, it's these players' fault. How we score from a corner yet this year, or are we still on that ridiculous streak of not scoring from corners? It did reset itself, but we're probably about to break the record again. I can't remember the last corner we scored. You know, somebody said before the game, you know, do you think we're going to get the old Rashford back? But it's consistency, isn't it? And it's not just Rashford. It's, you know, it's Bruno as well. Like, we're talking attackers. I mean, Ronaldo's not been great either, let's be honest. But we're not getting anybody back until they start doing it consistently. And if you can't do it against bloody Omonia FC, who are the equivalent of a League One side, then nobody's back. Mark also feel it's critical Martial is back, or else we're expecting Ronaldo to play 4 games in 10 days, says Nicket. Our corners are just becoming counter-attacking opportunities for the opposition, says Glenn. Well, we've got another corner now. It's not a bad corner. Another shot by Rashford. I feel he should be crossing that. Who's been the worst United manager of your lifetime, says the Football 454. That's a good question. So, in my lifetime, Ron Atkinson was the manager as well, but I don't remember it. So, and he won trophies, so it can't be him. Can't be Sir Alex for obvious reasons. I'd say it's the one that comes to mind for me is David Moyes. I never wanted him, and I thought he was completely out of depth. And also, let's not forget that David Moyes just basically came in and destroyed the backroom staff and got rid of it. So I'd probably say it'd be David Moyes or Ollie. Because they didn't win anything either. But not only because of that, I think that you could see what Mourinho's plan was. You can't moan at Mourinho for playing the football he did, because he did that. We knew he was going to play like that. Yeah, I'd probably say David Moyes. Wan-Bissaka red card against Young Boys was much softer and ended up in our relegation from Champions League. This was definitely a red card, says Sammy. I mean, look, I think it was a red card, but it's not why we're not winning. If they were down to 10 men, they'd just park the bus even more. This is why Sir Alex was a cut above. He threw on Makeda all those years ago to great effect. We never see managers gamble much on youth anymore, says Swift. Oh, they're on the attack. Good tackle by Martinez. Man United are a totally disorganised mess. Eric Ten Hag being stubborn and arrogant, players being selfish and wasteful. Also, they're called Omonia, not Ammonia. Ammonia, says Muzzy. Okay. 15 minutes to go. Could you ever see yourself being a manager of a professional team? I think I will go into management again. I mean, I don't think I'll be managing a professional team, but... Ericsson! Oh, good block. You know. It's, you know, inconsistency. Inconsistency. It's what we are. Flame says, look at those stats. How are you not winning? Well, we should be winning. But not convincingly winning. We shouldn't be winning 5-0. We should be winning 1 or 2-0, which is in itself is not good enough. But we should be winning, yeah. I don't think the keeper's made a great save. I know he's made saves, but I don't think he's made a great save, which reflects on the finishing. You know, we've not put the shots in the bottom corners, have we? I feel like drinking Omonia watching this as Alligator. This is an absolute joke. Couldn't hit a barn door, says Charlie Max. But it's interesting about Bruno. I don't think Bruno looks any better than James Maddison, who plays for Leicester. I don't think he looks any better than most attacking midfielders in the top half of the table. And Leicester are not in the top half of the table. But I don't see the Bruno that we bought anymore. I don't see that star quality in him anymore. I don't think he gives us what we should be getting from him. That look, he provided, you know, he made the interception and we scored the Anthony goal against Everton because of him. He's not terrible, but we're not getting enough out of Bruno at all. We're not. And the reason I mentioned Bruno is because in games like this, your number 10 has to grab the game. Like when you're playing against a team that's defensive, your number 10 is the creator. They are the Tom Brady of the team. They've got to be the player that everything goes through, running the game. And I just don't think we get enough. Rashford. Ten minutes to go. Well, I'm not even interested in what Real Sociedad are doing anymore, to be honest. Here we go. Oh, Casemiro lays it off to Bruno on the edge of the box. He thinks he's playing rugby. He thinks he's Johnny Wilkinson, and he puts it over the top. Mike McTominay's coming on. Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo. I've got McTominay coming on to win it. Should not do that with my voice. Right, player ratings are open. Mark every player out of 10. 6 being the average. Get involved with that. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Star for your man of the match. I mean, I had hoped it was going to improve a lot from the second half, but, you know, it's not looking likely at the moment. It's not looking likely at all. 0-0 here. Surely we find the winner. This would be embarrassing. I'm starting with 10 minutes to go. Well, he's taken Bruno off at long last. No, he's not. He's taken Casemiro off. I love you, Mark, says Maxime. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not about anything other than minutes, is it? I agree with you, Mark. He should be compared with Kevin De Bruyne as he was when he arrived. Sadly, he's dropped down to our 11, says Christopher. Well, yeah, I agree with you with that. I'm going to bring that up in the match reaction. It's a good point. He was always... Here we go. Martinez. Oh. I mean, one thing I would say about Ronaldo, he hasn't had the chances that Rashford's had, or Fred's had, or Casemiro's had, or Bruno's had. Ronaldo's chances have all been shooting from where he shouldn't have shot from. He's not actually had a chance created for him. Which is probably the problem, because I think if we'd given Ronaldo the chances that Rashford's had tonight, we probably would have scored. So we've not really created the chance. Oh, McTominay, good shot. Good save by the keeper again. I mean, it's not... No, it's not... It's not hard to save, but... It's a save. "10 minutes. I don't think that was a penalty on Delo. Who's been my favourite players on the pitch? Casemiro and Martinez, probably. This is as bad as some of our classics this year. I'm not sure people quite understand how much of a gulf in levels there is here, says Nick P. But, yeah. I don't disagree with you, Nick. It's not... Just because you're not going to lose to this Cypriot side, but drawing to them is like losing 4-0 to Brentford. It's an embarrassment. Like it is embarrassing. You can't just say, well, we drew, we got a point. It's embarrassing. And it also means that we can't finish top of the group, even if we beat Sociedad. So it is like a loss, really. It's pathetic, says Willington. Rashford passes the ball only when it's his only option, says Jonas. I still think we'll win it, but I can't ignore the fact that we might not. No, that could have been a free kick, and it's a free kick to them instead. Ryan says 30 shots, good lord. I mean, I think stats can be deceiving. I've always said this. A lot of those shots have been from shit areas. You know, I think Rashford's had a couple of good ones. He should have scored. Fred should have scored. Clear-cut chances, I think we've probably had 3 or 4. The only reason I'm saying that is that I don't think that we should have won this game 6 or 7-0. I think we should be winning 1 or 2-0. I don't think it's been a very good performance anyway, but we definitely should be winning, but not by 4 or 5. It's not been that sort of a game. There we go. Someone just said Ronaldo's finished. Yep, somebody can't watch a game of football. How many chances has Ronaldo had in this game? Absolutely nothing. Put Haaland in this team, he scores nothing. You need to know football to know that. There's nothing being created for the number 9. Nothing. We've created nothing for our number 9. It's got no service at all, which is what Jake said. Look, Erling Haaland's one of the best strikers in the world. Probably the best striker in the world at the moment. You put him up front for United, he's not scoring anything. There's no... How can Haaland score in this team? There's no service. There's nil service for Haaland in this game. People don't understand that because they watch football without using their brain, or they've never played the game, or they've never analysed the game. I just said that 5 minutes ago. Tell me a clear-cut chance Ronaldo's had. Every shot he's had has been from stupid angles, trying to score something out of nothing because he's getting no service. Hi Mark, United have 4 expected goals on target so far in the match, so I disagree that we've been bad. Stats don't lie, says Tor. Well, I disagree with you. I would have sacrificed Europa League. It doesn't do us any good other than draining energy. Bench players could have done better in this game, says Shahin. Well, they couldn't do any worse, really, because we're never going to lose it. Eric is playing Football Manager. Shoot on sight, says Hugh. Don't forget to do your player ratings. I think it's going to be very interesting on the match reaction. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being average. Star for your man of the match. We need a striker in January desperately. Fingers crossed they don't consider Arnautovic or Sinner again. Nick, why do we need a striker in January? Did you not just listen to what I said? Why do we need a striker in January? A striker makes no difference to this game. We have provided no service for the number 9. Every chance we've had has been for wide players or Bruno or a midfielder. We don't create chances for a striker. We need players who can play football against a low block. Ronaldo's movement has been poor regardless of service, as Dan. Doesn't matter. Not had any service. Doesn't matter if he sat there and had a picnic, Dan. He's not had any fucking service, so his movement's irrelevant. It's not like we've been putting loads of good balls in the box and he's not moved for them. That's one of the stupidest comments I've heard of the year. Doesn't matter if he's had no service because his movement's terrible. Well, tell me 4 or 5 opportunities where the cross has been good and he's not moved for it. Come on, Dan. You've got to be better than that. United are actually a tin pot club and Ronaldo is finished. Up the Arsenal, says Christian. Thanks for the super chat on the United channel, mate. Thank you. I know your channel's shit, but, you know, come on. Try and support it. Ten Hag should be a player manager. Show us how it's done, says Dwayne. Well, it's going to reflect badly, this is. It's going to reflect very badly. Because it is embarrassing. It's like losing. Really bad. And this is the problem with United. You get beat by Man City and everyone's like, we are so inconsistent. You beat Everton away and you go, that's a good step back. And then you pick most of your first team against what is effectively a League One side and you can't even score. The inconsistency is what kills this football club. And how Bruno Fernandes has stayed on this pitch for 90 minutes when he is the number 10 and it's his job to create. It just shows you the depth. I keep saying this. We don't have depth. People say, oh, we need Martial. Like Martial's going to get the ball on the halfway line, skip past 10 players and score. Understand football. We have not won this game because we've got too many players who don't know what to do with the ball against a team that sits back. Bruno, Rashford, they haven't got a fucking clue what to do against a team that doesn't give them 40 yards of pace to pass or run into. They have got no fucking idea what to do when there is a team that's parked on the edge of the box. They don't know what to do. They just do not know what to do. Shoot, Scott! Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. It's embarrassing. Would you still give some of these guys new contracts like Rashford a drop down to the Conference League so that we at least have a chance? The trouble is, Keish, Rashford's going to get a new contract. Glazers out, says Marcus S. You know, the Glazers aren't going. I mean, not the Glazers. Rashford's not going to get a contract, is he? Because the club won't make the decisions that need to be made. Right, how long is the referee going to add on? He might not add a lot on. 5 minutes. Well, we've not scored in 90. Oh. Yellow card. This always happens. We beat PSG, lost to Sheffield and all seasons before. Same thing now. Beat Everton, lose to a bunch of God knows what, says Maguire Slab. To put this into perspective, Adam Matthews, Omonia's right back, sat on the bench for Charlton last year, says Hal. Is it me, or have we gotten worse since Casemiro was sub, says Myron. I just think we're desperate. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Remember to do your player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Star for your man of the match. Can United grab... I mean, I think as long as we win, that's all that matters now. Yeah! Scooby-Doo! The tartan underpants are out! Scooby-Doo! He's done it at the end. Scott McTominay makes it 1-0. Bruno runs and hugs him. You embarrassing players. McTominay's rescued that you're there. I almost feel sorry for the Cypriots. What a bag of shit. Absolute bag of shit. I tell you what, there's a lot of work to do with this club, but at least we've got the win at the end. Bloody embarrassing. Scooby-Doo, get in. We've won it. At least that we've still got a chance of finishing top of the group. Oh. I did say I wasn't going to give up until the final whistle. That's the way you've got to be at Manchester United. But it's Sancho who probes his way into the box, keeps working, puts a cross in, finds its way to McTominay, takes a touch and blasts it in low. It's a good finish. Good finish by McTominay. Used to be a striker. Take the win and get out. Take the win and get out. Sancho making things happen as well. Don't forget about that. So a minute to go here. Manchester United lead 1-0 with a minute to go. Oh, dear me. At least it gets rid of all the knobheads in the chat trying to take the piss. I mean, look, it's an embarrassing result. 1-0 is an embarrassing result, but it's just take the win and move. It's my wife's, Shani's 28th birthday, Mark. Say happy birthday. She hears your voice more than mine, says Mima Day. Happy birthday to Shanice, 28 today. Hope you have a good day. Oh, I'm just glad we've won it. Well, somebody just said there, it's embarrassing how some of you can celebrate this. Well, no, Ty, I think that's the definition of being... Of course, we'd rather win than draw. It's not embarrassing to celebrate. It's an embarrassing performance from Manchester United. And they've been very, very lucky. But by winning, it still gives us a chance to top the group. So, you know, of course you'd rather win than draw. I don't have any issue with being happy that we've scored the goal. I mean, it's being a pain merchant, isn't it? If you would rather we draw. I feel sorry for the Cypriot side. Of course I do. But I want Manchester United to win, which is what they've done. And George says, congratulations on the win, mate. Buzzing for you. Look, of course it's embarrassing. It's really, really embarrassing. But I'd rather win than draw. Is Scott Haaland now, says SK. Well, he can't play on Sunday anyway, so we don't need to worry about him forcing his way into the team. But, look, ultimately, Manchester United have won. Let's do our player ratings and talk about it in the match reaction. I will see you over there in about 60 seconds' time.